On that note, here's Neil.
That was sure special, boy.
I don't do the promos.
Man.
We try to find promos that make people want to tune us in.
That'll do it.
How you doing today?
Don't forget, Mo this afternoon is going to have Bill Skowron's mother-in-law on. Ex-Yankee first baseman. Moose Skowron.
So I guess his mother-in-law would be a moosette.
That might be it.
What's going on?
Mrs. Moose.
What's going on up north?
Everything is great. It's been a little on the hot side, but other than that,
well,
a little on the toasty side, 90s every day. But that stops tomorrow. Getting a nice storm in here this afternoon. It's going to kind of like clear it all out back into the mid to upper 70s tomorrow.
We're having a sandstorm here.
Really? Yeah, I saw that coming from Africa.
Yeah, you don't really notice it, but it's there. You can see it on your car.
Yeah.
Because the sand is...
A little bit of a downpour.
No, it's not a downpour. But
a lot of
the sky's a little...
disastrous stuff seems to like come in from Africa. Like the hurricanes all start off the coast of Africa and all those tropical storms. And now a big dust storm.
Yep. Which came along, the dust storm, I guess, came along with one of those other storms and just came up the Caribbean.
So speaking of Ricky Williams, are we getting sick and tired of that already or what? My God. Just when we thought we were done with that, and here we go all over again. Ricky. It's almost like Jimmy and Danny all over again.
I was kind of curious to hear about his search for the meaning of life.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much, not just here, but the national media is obsessed with this story.
And thank goodness that he gave up that ganja man. That's good news. Because we sure don't want him getting suspended again.
Well,
he'll be right in there with you and P-Val.
He can't take one more suspension.
Right.
And even if he misses a test, if he doesn't show up for his, I guess he has frequent testing he's facing.
Yeah.
If he misses a session, it's like a failed test.
Speaking of drugs,
yes.
I was watching a little bit of, I was channel surfing last night, and I don't know who Detroit was playing, but anyway, I saw a little bit of the Tiger game, and Pudge Rodriguez was batting, and it looked to me like...
he's lost 100 pounds.
Is that what it is?
I don't know, yeah. And he's very, very resentful of the question as to why he lost that weight.
Yeah. And that's the first thing that came to my mind, since he is named in that book. And then, of course, his ass is about a quarter of the size that it used to be.
Yep.
He used to have one of the biggest asses in the history of sports. Him and Mickey Lolich, and then, of course, who was the Red Sox first baseman? Mo Vaughn, yeah.
But he wasted away. He's gone. There's only half a Pudge.
They ain't got that big ass, no Mo.
Nope. But
I always think of big ass and Mo in the same sentence.
Oh, I haven't noticed.
We got the space shuttle, the big launch at 10:39. I guess we can carry that live here. Everybody's on the edge of their seats to discover,
Kind of like bringing in a baseball game.
That would be good.
Give you a little time off.
Right.
I mean, you're only here 2 days a week.
Look who's talking. Well, when does this big schedule of yours start? That you're going out to Del Mar and
that's
Vegas?
I'm using my vacation time for that. I'm allowed to take vacation.
Yeah, you've been a good student, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Take the money right to the bank, and the less work, the better.
I'll be working. I'm doing the Arlington Million.
I was thinking to myself, if Greg Reed went to England, do you think? Because I thought that with that haircut, he kind of looks like a terrorist,
Oh, I thought you were going to give him a subway pass.
That's what I'm talking about. Looks like a terrorist. Shoot first, ask questions later. But they are very sorry about it. Extraordinarily sorry.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. It's that's the last place I would want to go right now.
I love this. Shuttle may launch even if sensor problem recurs. So they're just under a lot of pressure to get this thing up there. And if we have to sacrifice some more people up there in the sky, so be it. Just the way it goes.
Do you read the New York Post?
Every now and then. I'm not big into Rupert Murdoch, although I do read the Toronto Sun. That's another rag of his, but they have a good sports section.
Front page today's classic. Osama bin Laden tried to buy a massive amount of cocaine, spike it with poison, and sell it to the United States, hoping to kill thousands of Americans 1 year after 9/11.
Yeah.
The evil plot failed when the Colombian drug lords bin Laden approached decided it would be bad for their business.
Really? Sounds like something from The Godfather.
Yeah, and possibly for their own health.
Mm-hmm.
This is according to law enforcement sources.
They could just sell it to the Dolphins organization. They've got a lot of rip-snorting guys been on that team for quite a while now. I think the fact that they're accepting Ricky Williams back, I was saying this before this morning, that it shows you the state of the organization, man. They got real problems. They're desperate. I mean, for a guy to, like, dump on them the way he did and just spit in their face and, like, oh, yeah, everything's forgiven and come on back and it's all going to be great.
You know, I asked this question earlier today. What do you think would have happened to a guy who stood up and said, I don't want that guy back. He killed my whole season. I don't have that long to play this game, and he robbed me of a year.
Right.
But you think Nick Saban's
going to
allow that?
On a team when Gus Farratt and A.J. Touchy-Feely are vying for starting quarterback?
I think it goes beyond that, and I hate interpretive journalism, but the reality, I think, is that Saban is just making sure that everybody says the same thing, and he's going to play a dead hand, and if he gets a chance to trade him,
yeah, he's playing a dead hand, all right.
And somebody will jump at the chance to get him. Believe me, because the guy can play football, and there'll be a team out there who will lose a starting running back, like if Baltimore or San Diego loses their starting running back star. They might give the Dolphins something for him.
I see what Dave Wannstedt said about the organization. He said your mama or something very similar to that.
Care less.
Yeah, he couldn't care what happens down there.
Yep.
Sounds like sour grapes to me now that the Wannstedt era's over.
Error?
But we got some big stuff coming. I wonder if Geldy's all whipped up now about the hockey season, and it's the same old story. And Mike Keenan says, the Panthers are going to spend all this money. How many years we've been hearing that now?
Yeah, well, I guess
they're going to have that very respectable $30 million payroll, and they're going to go out there and they're going to compete, and Peter Forsberg's available, and this one and that one. I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, they have a week to do it. This is the week that
confidence is low.
This is the week that they can sign players and not
they can package this and promote it any way they want, but the fact of the matter is that this whole thing has been geared toward salvaging these horseball franchises that never should have been in the league in the first place. Carolina, the Mighty Ducks, the Panthers. I mean, it's a joke.
The Mighty Ducks.
Atlanta Trashers back for another round.
Yep. That's true. And yet they insist that...
well, it's like selling halava in the North Pole, man. There's just no market for it.
There's not? I had this idea.
Yeah, well, forget about it. Come up with a new scam. That's not gonna fly.
No.
Oh, I shouldn't have said not going to fly now that they're talking with the space shuttle. They got Sky Miles O'Brien there on CNN.
Book, really, of weather rules.
Oh, yeah, he's the space cadet expert.
It keeps him in business.
Yeah, keeps CNN in business, unfortunately. What a bunch of grave robbers. What a bunch of bastards. People in the American media, most of them, they should only rot, especially the electronic media, man. They're just evildoers. Suck-ups. They grew a pair of balls there for a couple of days when they were like questioning Scott McClellan, on the Karl Rove business, and they got all ballsy there for 2 or 3 days. That was the end of that. You won't see that again soon.
Yeah, that whole business is it's somebody had a.
Thank God there was no blue dress with a stain on it involved in that.
Somebody wanted to know the other day if now that Karl Rove is in trouble, does that mean he loses his vice president function to Cheney?
Right. And don't forget about Scooter Libby.
Yeah.
Thank God there are things like the racetrack, man, and little diversions like that to get us all away from these. And then, of course, we got the ratings coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I mentioned that.
Scooter's 87 years old now.
Scooter Libby?
No, Scooter Rizzuto.
Oh, Scooter, the Scooter.
He's 87.
Put on the coffee car, I'm coming home. And something that really pissed me off, beside the fact that he was totally incompetent, one of the worst of all time, is the fact that he got into this big thing about how he invented, holy cow, Harry Carey was doing the Cardinals games in the 40s, in like 45, 46, doing holy cow before Phil Rizzuto ever, he's still wearing a jockstrap. What is he talking about? Holy cow, my ass. And toward the last couple of years when he was, holy cow, everything he said was, holy cow, that's all he said, besides put on the coffee car, I'm coming home. And he would actually leave the game early.
Yeah, he did. Yes, I did know that.
And the only reason he stuck around that long is because he tried to retire a couple of years before he did, and Steinbrenner told him, you'll retire when I tell you can retire.
Well, they
loved him. It must be really pleasant working for a guy like Steinbrenner. I think we got problems. Man.
I know some people who did, and you're right.
Oh, what a bastard. See, I don't know about you, but I just don't have a lot of room in my life for rich, spoiled brat, rich people, a lot of money, you know. You know, like Wayne, there's another one.
They're all the same, those owners.
And always got to have their way.
All right, so you want to talk about Ricky?
Yeah, we're doing our whole show today on Ricky.
Yeah.
And Shaq, Ricky and Shaq. Shaq and Ricky. That's it.
Have a good show.
I'll see him on Thursday.
Thursday.
That's right. I won't see you tomorrow.
Saratoga opens tomorrow.
There you go. You'll be plunging on Saratoga. I'll be at Woodbine making my contribution to the betterment of mankind.
Yeah, me
and
too.
horsekind.
Okay.
See ya.
You too.
Didn't mean it. It was an accident.
My junior, honey.
Yes. Do you have a match? I need to light my shoelace. When there's a bomb in my shoe and a melody in my heart, I get that tingling feeling when I blow the plane apart. You show the world that my faith brings me closer to Allah. Your life is worth the taking, for my religion's the reason why. With a bomb on my feet, I'll put a wet spot on your seat. You'll find that I'm an Al-Qaeda crazy when there's a bomb in my shoe. Ah la 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 la. What a wonderful way to die this way. I'll fight you in the name of Allah. 5, 6, 7, 8 more bombs drop. 9, 10, 11, 12 more bombs drop. We're gonna drop the bomb around the clock. We're gonna drop them bombs and make them dead. Blow that rag right off their head. We're gonna bomb around the clock tonight. We're gonna bomb, knock out their lights. We're gonna bomb around the clock tonight.
All right.
Here's a real gun bomb, so have a blast. We're gonna shove that all up your ass. We're gonna bomb around the clock tonight. We're gonna bomb, knock out their lights. We're gonna bomb around the clock tonight.
So what does that have to do with Ricky Williams, huh?
Or Lance Armstrong.
Oh, exactly. Or with the space shuttle. We got 28 minutes, but who's counting? How come they took away that little clock they had on there, the countdown? It's 10:39 is liftoff time.
Yeah.
And whether there are technical problems or not,
there it is.
It's time to send it up there. Oh, there it is. 27 minutes and 33 seconds, but who's counting? So we'll cover it live for you on CNN. Wouldn't that be great?
Wonderful.
And, of course, we got our fingers and legs crossed, making sure that this time nothing goes wrong. Although last time it was on the return. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And, of course, the tiles, the broken tiles, and this and that. Well, see, there's really no reason to be spending these billions of dollars, and I realize that a lot of you space cadets out there, oh, gee, how can you say that? It's so important. No, it's not. Because most of the information and technology that we get are from unmanned space flights.
Right.
Like the Hubble spacecraft. But nevertheless, don't confuse it. I mean, this is like much more dramatic, right?
Absolutely.
What did you say?
Absolutely.
No.
That's right.
Georgia's polled yesterday, 1,036 votes. Who is the most annoying commercial spokesperson of all time? The spokesman. Matthew Lesko, Ask Lesko Books, 145.
Yeah, he moved fast.
Jared from Subway, 122. Hey, Jared!
You fairy.
Carrot Top, call ATT, 92. Can you hear me now, the Verizon guy, 68. Billy Mays, OxyClean, 62. He's annoying, all right. And he's always shouting. He's a screamer. David Spade, Capital 154. David Singer, 52. That's bad. Pompano Honda Lady, 51. Tony Little, the workout guy, 44. The Monarch Dodge family, 41. King Paul, I think he's still dead. Kirstie Alley, Jenny Craig, 40. John Bastow, Fitness Made Simple, 33. I don't think I know who that is. Smiling Bob from Enzyte, he got
About 30, man.
What is it, Fantanas?
The Fantanas,
Fanta?
yeah.
26. Uncle Mel for Lipton Toyota, 23. The Big O for
Rock solid.
19. The Ditech.com guy, 19. Lost another loan to Ditech. Levy. Stephen, the Dell guy, 17. Haven't seen him in a long time, thank God.
He was annoying.
Susan Powder, Stop the Insanity, 16. Tom Carvel from Carvel, 14. He's been dead for 100 years. The Rooms to Go people, 12. Dan Marino for Levinson, 12. Lindsay, Dolphin Carpet and Tile, 9. I don't know who that is. Who is John Madden for Tenactin, 7. Ben Stein, Clear Eyes, 6. Terry Bradshaw, Supercut, 6. Bill Shatner for Priceline.com, 5. Dan Belsky, We Buy Houses, 3. Mr. Whipple for Charmin, Don't Squeeze It, and the Charmin either, 3. Robert Conrad for Rayovac Batteries, 3. Tom Vu peddling his tapes, 1. And poor old Madge, You're Soaking in It for Palmolive.
Yeah, I objected to that.
In fact, I think they embalmed her in it. Isn't she soaking in it? Hey, Madge, You're soaking in it, bitch. No, she's dead. And so I think, what's her name is, too? Rosie, she was annoying. How come the quicker picker-upper?
Hey,
she used to be in Hollywood Squares. Rosie, the quicker picker-upper. Just the way she said it was like she had a mouthful of mush. But anyway, she's dead. 10:14 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday, too. We got the ratings coming out tomorrow. We got the space shuttle launch at 10:39 this morning. There's the astronauts.
It really is, no matter how
It really is something. You know, for years, Armstrong Ford of Homestead has always treated everybody just like family, and they want to extend an offer to you to join their family. Ford has just announced their Ford Family Plan. That's right. Right now at Armstrong Ford of Homestead, you can buy a vehicle at employee discount prices. Now through July 31st, which means about another week, Armstrong Ford of Homestead gives you the same great pricing that every Ford Motor Company employee and their families get. And not only do you get employee family pricing, but you also get Armstrong Ford's exclusive, unbelievable Tires and Batteries for Life program. And for a limited time with any new car purchase, you're going to get a color TV free, too. So what could you possibly be waiting for? If you want the best deal, pick up the phone right now and call at 305-247-5112. Ask for David Rich. You won't get a better deal on a Ford anyplace. No bait and switch, no phony deals. This fantastic offer is only available at Armstrong Ford of Homestead, where they treat you like family. Armstrong Ford is proud to be locally owned and operated. Vice President and General Manager David Rich says, bring your family to meet our family. Armstrong Ford, they're at US 1 at Southwest 307th Street, just 20 minutes drive south of the 836. Check them on the web, armstrongcars.com, and give David Rich a call at 305-247-5112 and ask David about the Ford Family Plan. Drive a little bit extra, but save yourself thousands and zillions and billions at Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
When it comes to sports, we're the authority. Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Holy cow! This is an ABC News special report.
One of the most consequential decisions the president makes is his appointment of a justice to the Supreme Court. And so a nominee to that court must be a person of superb credentials and the highest integrity. I have found such a person in Judge John Roberts. My decision to nominate Judge Roberts to the Supreme Court came after a thorough and deliberative process, conducted with fairness and civility.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. See, you can't go wrong with mo.
Lay off, Bird Brain. Judge Roberts, thank you for agreeing to serve. And congratulations.
This has been a presentation of ABC News.
Even at ABC News, and even the Bushmaster knows you can't go wrong with Mo. That's incredible. Let's just play that all the way through till 2 o'clock. What do you say?
Okay.
So here's a fax from Big Arnie about Phil Rizzuto, which nobody cares about that unless you're an old toad like me and Hank. But the scooter, he sucked, and that's all needs to be said. Hey, Cora, put the coffee on and put him in a can. A tisket, a tasket. Let's get Phil's casket ready. He's not dead yet, is he? No.
Oh, I have no idea. I could check.
Might as well be. Anyway, we're like only 18 minutes and 47 seconds away from the Discovery launch. Oh, man, is this exciting or what?
No.
I'll tell you one thing, it's a lot better than Ricky. Ricky.
So what do you think about Ricky?
I don't. And speaking of that, I'm glad you said that, because if anybody knows that nobody's quit smoking pot, you know that.
Yeah, well.
Well, there you go. It's like people that say they're going to quit eating ice cream. It's a lie. Yeah, they may mean it when they say it, but of course they don't do it. I'm not thinking of anybody particular, Josh.
He just got the Whizzinator.
I beg your pardon?
He probably discovered the Whizzinator.
Oh, the Whizzinator, yeah. I've got a great line for that, but I can't use it. It makes you get really psychotic. At any rate, here's today's pool question, which I'm trying to think of what inspired me to take this. I was thinking about the driving in Boston when I lived there, which is a long time ago, but nevertheless, everybody tells me it's not any better, and I've been back. See, there's some places where you go and visit and you rent a car. Vegas, every time I go to Vegas, I rent a car. Boston, most of the times I used to go to Boston, I would rent a car, but then I stopped doing that. I don't know why. I think I do know why, because I hated driving there. Terrible. But anyway, when I lived there, I had my first car, my little 60 blue Corvair, Chevy Corvair. Boy, that was a really nifty little car. Bad fan belts, but other than that. No, seriously, I think I put about 180,000 miles on that car. It was a real workhorse. But their driving is the worst in Boston. That was my vote on this poll. Where is the worst place you've ever driven? We have 193 votes. Dade County, of course, 102. Boston, 28. And see, Boston is my choice because having driven in both, Dade County's bad, but nothing like Boston. And especially in the wintertime, it snowed like about an 1/18 of an inch snow, and it's like, oh, gee, what do we do now? How do we handle this? Although I will say this, can you imagine if it snowed in South Florida?
Oh, I have often thought and discussed that with people who live in the snow.
Holy moly,
man.
Anyway, Boston 28, New York 18, Broward County 16, which I don't see why the big disparity between Dade and Broward. I think that's an ethnic thing, trying to pin it on the old Cubans.
Absolutely not.
What?
The driving in Broward is a picnic compared to Dade.
I don't know why you say that. Have you ever driven in Hallandale?
Yeah,
that's the last time I checked. That was in Broward.
Yeah, nothing.
Have you ever driven if you get on University north of Sunrise, I mean that is like Yidlow heaven, man.
Listen,
man,
nothing compared to Bird Road.
I don't agree.
Or the best part of Dade.
Haven't I lived in both Dade and Broward County?
It's been a while.
I think you're full of crap. Broward 16, Los Angeles 15. Rome 6. I wouldn't drive there if they paid me by the kilometer. I mean, I just
by the kilo?
I don't know how they do it. There's no markings on the roads. There's like 8,000 lanes, and they just pick and choose wherever they want to go. It's just I don't get it. Tampa 3, Chicago 3, and Vegas 2. See, Vegas has got several problems. One of which is the Strip was never designed to handle the load of traffic they get on there, so it's impossible to get anywhere if you're stupid enough to drive on the Strip and don't know the back roads. And number 2. Similar to South Florida, only worse. Problem being that about 90% of the people driving on the roads in Vegas, at least on the Strip and in that downtown area, they're from out of town. Yeah. So they don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're doing. They're like it's like the land of the lost. Let's see. Here's a fax that says Panthers will be buyers in free agency, and then it says right. Reading this from old copies of the Sun Sentinel from 2001, 2000, 2002, and 2003. It says if the salary minimum is $21 million, which it's a little more than that, 21.5, I think, expect Alan Cohen to spend $21 million. Well, they can continue spending $29 million like they did last time, lowest payroll in the league, and still not have anybody on there. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to be a party pooper, but their track record isn't too promising. Here's another fax that says another religious fanatic pushing their beliefs on others from Bryan and Pompano Beach, Capitol Hill, Illinois. An Illinois pharmacist has told a congressional hearing that he'll close shop rather than comply with the governor's order to provide the morning after pill. Pharmacist Luke Vanderbleek, I guess his outlook for as a pharmacist is kind of bleak, testified that as a Roman Catholic, he can either provide or help a customer obtain a pill that he believes destroys human. Where did this all start from? You know, it's like an epidemic. It starts with one jackass somewhere, and all of a sudden, oh, that's a good idea. Let's stop filling prescriptions for pills we don't believe in. Religious crazy people, man. That's the problem with the world. There is no debate about it. You can disagree all you want. That is a fact. Religious crazy people of all stripes.
Right, the bane of the world.
An advisor to the governor says the order only applies to pharmacies that sell other contraceptives. I see. Like condoms, for example. Mm-hmm. You know any pharmacy that doesn't sell condoms? No.
No.
The hearing was hosted by Illinois U.S. Representative Dan Manzulio, who believes pharmacists should have the same right as doctors to refuse to act against their personal beliefs. Well, screw them. What a crock of crap that is. It's that good old, it's like the Christian Yellow Pages, only carried to another further degree. Mm-hmm. How about the Muslim Yellow Pages?
Are they yellow?
Guess who died? Somebody you never heard of.
I give up.
Although I think Boca Brian will know. In fact, isn't there one of the bits he just did here, something about WMCA in New York? Which one was that?
I don't know. Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, he does a thing about he lapses into a hole. Is that what one it is? Yeah. Oh, I don't want to play that because that's not one of my favorites, Brian. But nevertheless, I do like the part about WMCA in New York. Anyway, Joe O'Brien died. Oh, no. Oh. Veteran New York radio talent Joe O'Brien died. Not to be confused with the harness driver Joe O'Brien, Fresh Yankee, and all those other great horses. O'Brien, a 50-year New York area air personality who worked at WMCA New York from 1935 until 1969 and later enjoyed stints at WNBC New York and WHUD in Peekskill, New York, died Sunday following an automobile crash in the Berkshires of Western Mass. He was 90. That's a hell of a thing to have a car crash in Crook when you're 90, if you survive that long.
Right.
O'Brien, according to Lenox, Massachusetts police, his car collided with another vehicle at a town intersection. His passenger, Ruth Meyer, the first PD at former Double A Country, WHN, New York, and later the station's general manager, was not injured. O'Brien worked as WMCA's morning man, traversing many eras in station history, including a legendary run as the main top 40 competitor of WABC New York and becoming a good guy. That's what they call the people on here at WMCA, the good guys, and the process. From 70 to 72, he handled a morning show at WNBC. He was replaced by a dead man. Guess who that might be?
Joey Reynolds. No,
somebody that's still dead. Don Imus.
Oh.
From the mid-70s till his official retirement at 86, he worked at BEZ, WHUD, I don't know what that means. Giving beautiful music from Radio Terrace to the entire Hudson Valley region. Joe O'Brien's dead. WMCA, good guy. Boca O'Brien's got a tear in his eye. So which Joe O'Brien did you like better, the one from Harness Racing or the one from WMCA? That's our pool question today. What are you talking about? That's the whole idea. To talk about all kinds of things that people in South Florida haven't got a clue what it is, which could be just about anything except, of course, and Ricky. We're only 10 minutes away from, or 12 minutes, whatever it is, from the Discovery shuttle launch. Are you excited or what? Are you whipped up? To a frenzy. There's the mission specialist, Andrew Thompson. He's specializing. Good Life Credit asks you this question. Did you know what's on your credit report? If not, remember this number or write it on your sleeve, 866-625-0444. It's the fact that 80% of credit reports contain errors that affect your credit score, and we all know the problems that come when you got a bad credit score. And if you ever try to contest an error that appears on your credit report, good luck to you. What a pain that is. Good Life Credit is here to correct those mistakes for you. Good Life Credit's in-house attorneys will do all the work for you, and there are no setup fees. Good Life Credit will order your credit report from the 3 major credit bureaus. They'll write letters of discrepancies and straighten out any inaccuracies. So please don't let somebody else's mistake cost you a high credit score. Before you visit the dealership, call a realtor, whatever, do yourself a big favor and call Good Life Credit. And right now, the first 10 callers who do call will get a 10% discount. Just tell them that Neil told you to call. 866-625-0444. That's toll-free, 1-866-625-0444. Call them right now or on the web, checking them out at goodlifecredit.com.
When it comes to entertainment, we've got the biggest personality. Neil Rogers, Midday 7 to Sports Radio 560, QAM. Absolutely.
Make all the cash registers ring. Everybody's breathing the same thing. It sold 7 million copies in one day. Breaking every record on the shelf. Every book is sold adds to her wealth. J.K. Rowling blows the other books away. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter, making other authors Hermione and Ron Weasley beat Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, made over 100 million, holy hell. Muggle from here to Germany, reading about the School of Wizardry. There's no doubt we're under J.K. Rowling's spell. Harry Potter,
Oi!
and his magic tales. Harry Potter, he may just be Bible tales.
Hey, Harry, you look like a little terrorist to me. Run fast, you bastard. Ooh, sorry. 26 before the hour. Let's see. Here's one for the poll. It says Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
And, of course, if they have a really spiffy car in Jamaica, they don't say nice ride. They say, it's a good machine, man.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
I know it. Anyway, I'm sure we'll get some other ones called in, or not, as the case may be. If I ever get around to taking a few calls, I might, maybe not. You never know. We got a nice pristine schedule today. How do you like this on the 26th of July? We got the Mo-Meister. Much reviled Mo-Man. Howard David at 2. We got Jim Mandich at 4. Marlins on deck at 6:30. Marlins come home finally. Pirates at the stadium tonight, 7:05. Eddie K at 10 o'clock. It's interesting that as mediocre as the Marlins have been playing, which they have, that division is so bad, which I've been trying to tell Josh a long time. He never believes me. But they're all like within just a handful of games, right? 4 or 5 games?
Yeah, the division's so bad that nobody's under 500. It's crazy.
Well, of course they're not, because they're all playing each other a lot of times. See, so then naturally. You just don't get it.
Right.
A lot of weak sisters in there. Even the Braves are a shadow of what they used to be. And, of course, those nice Washington Nationals, man, they looked like they were really going someplace, and I think they are in the tank now. But they, they surprised a lot of people, right? They're still in there. They're in the hunt, as they say, as these sports people. They're in the hunt. Well, the facts is, let's see, London is at the top of the list. They go the wrong effing way. Yeah, they're driving on the wrong side of the road. They're a little ass backward than Brits. We can put London on there and Jamaica on. Dade County is winning hands down, though, so far. Don't drive in Dade County if you value your life. And whatever you do, don't get on one of those little mini buses. What do they call those? Those jitneys?
Jitneys, that's right.
Don't get on one of those, and don't take a cab. Other than that, stay home.
Yeah.
Frank says, I'm so glad you mentioned the press with Hank Goldberg this morning. I watched Tony Blair's press conference this morning, and while we both know he's full of crap, it was refreshing to hear real questions from the press. For example, concerning the new British version of the Patriot Act, they asked a question about laws being contradictory to the freedoms that they're supposed to be protecting. However, the most interesting thing I noticed was that in the pool of reporters, Tony Blair called on a reporter from the Al Jazeera network. To me, that's true freedom of the press. Would we ever allow Al Jazeera? No, not unless they were like gay. Yeah, then we'd let them in. Unless they were sleeping with somebody in the administration like Ari Fleischer. Maybe that's why that goofball was in there, Jeff Gannon Guckert.
Yeah, that would add up.
Maybe he was sleeping with gay. Maybe Scott McClellan, one of those guys.
Rove.
3 minutes away
from forming into the top.
Yeah, well, these people are always whipped up about marriage and anti-gay marriage. How about some heterosexual marriage there in the White House? Condoleezza and Karl Rove and all these other, old maids. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, right.
Karl Rove, an old maid, among many other things. And, of course, Condoleezza. Please, who are you kidding, honey? Kenneth Macho, Hillary or Condoleezza?
The onboard power supply now.
Or Charlie Crist.
Now gotten the clearance to close and lock their visors and do that.
Close and lock your visors, boys and girls, and don't forget about 2 things. And Ricky.
Now, one new thing here.
I'll tell you, the one word I'm going to give you right now, and the whole world revolves around it, and this encompasses the religious bullcrap, everything. You know what the word is? 4-letter word.
Oh, I was going to say sex. Money? That's 5
Hype.
letters. Oh, yeah, well.
H-Y-P-E. Write it down in indelible ink on your wrist, okay? Limp or not. Write it on there. Hype. Everything is about hype. We're all supposed to be whipped up about the religious baloney and your God and my God and this God and the 7 virgins and the 72 virgins and the Vestal virgins and all that other crap. And a whiter shade of pale. There's the Discovery on the launch. It's almost launch time. Boy, it must be eating lunch. Kind of like Madrid in reverse.
Okay.
On the Travel Channel, or one of those channels last night, I guess PBS, they had that travel show. Well, I'd sure like to have that guy's job. You know, the guy that does all those shows on travel through Europe? He gets paid for that.
There's a chick that does that, too.
Boy, what a tough life that is. Anyway, they were in Madrid. And they pointed out that they don't eat dinner in Madrid till like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and then they go out like bar hopping starting at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and not just on weekends, but every night.
Right. Till dawn sometimes.
Right, and I've been there, and that is absolutely true. The only thing about Madrid, I would say, it's an interesting place, but the buildings they all look the same. They're all white. Not all of them, but I mean, no, seriously, like, it's a very bland-looking place.
I see.
Doesn't have a lot of character. I think Barcelona might be more interesting. I'm going to check that out.
Firing chain is armed.
Uh-oh.
Sounds pressure water system is being activated. Bring safe systems on. T-minus 10 seconds. Go for main engine start. 7, 6, 5. 3 engines up and burning. 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Discovery. Beginning America's new journey to the moon, Mars, and beyond.
Oh, my God.
And the vehicle has cleared the tower.
The Space Shuttle Discovery on its way.
Calm down,
With a
Scott
period of
Miles.
time, 8.5 minutes of a lot of violence, you might say, to get them to space. What's it like now on board there?
Right now they're feeling a lot of shaking on board the flight deck. They're about to go supersonic.
How come they're not playing Greeley Lewis and a whole lot of shaking going on? Wouldn't that be cute?
I'll get it ready.
And you'll hear the vehicle and behind us is just roaring inside the solid rocket boosters, and you can feel that on board the shuttle inside. And you can see on the outside of the vehicle the shocks are forming right now as they're going supersonic.
Those are actually called shock collars, and that occurs. It basically makes the water vapor condense as it goes through at supersonic speeds, right?
Exactly. In fact, they're forming the shots and they're continuing to accelerate until we'll hit about 5 times the speed of sound when about 2 minutes when we kick off the solid rocket booster.
Go at throttle up.
There goes your money, boys and girls, right there into space.
Sounds like Eileen is getting
Discovery, altitude now 9 miles.
Eileen is getting rattled around a little bit there as we hear the famous go and throttle up call.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, they're going throttle up, and here about less than a minute, we're going to
let's hear it! All right! Let's play ball! Come on! How's Ricky doing?
We should point out that once you light those solid rocket boosters, there's no turning them off. And that first couple of minutes is very critical because there aren't many abort scenarios that work in that.
Yeah, they were singing it's too late to turn back now.
We're pretty much along for the ride for that first 2 minutes and 17 seconds on the solid rocket boosters. Everything happens pretty quick after that for the next 6.5 minutes on the 3-man engines as we continue to accelerate uphill as they will today until you hit orbital velocity here at 8.5 minutes at 17,500 miles an hour.
Right at 2 minutes, we should see those solid rocket boosters drop off. You see a little flare. Off they go, like tossing a couple of cigarettes out of a fast-moving car. And that's a good moment. You used to all breathe a sigh of relief for that moment because, of course, we thought of challenge.
Speed now, 30 miles per hour. Altitude 33 miles, 40 miles.
Not bad.
Downrange.
Not bad. Okay, Sky Miles O'Brien says, all clear, not bad. But what does that have to do with and Ricky Williams, okay? You people at CNN better get your ass together, okay? You ice holes. 10:41, 19 to 11 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday to you, man. We're just killing some time until those numbers come in tomorrow. And, of course, we'll leave that in George's capable hands.
I'll just mention one.
What? Just one number?
Yeah.
I know a good number to mention.
About 30, man.
Hey, if you're looking in the mirror and wondering where all that hair went, I can probably give you the answer. On the floor, down the sink, down the toilet, just away somewhere. It went away, and it isn't coming back. Chuck Alfieri has been helping the famous and not so famous and even some unctuous people over the years look their best. For over 30 years now, Charlie's been doing it, and you would never recognize his work because unlike those nasty straw and mousy-looking muskrat pieces, Charlie's hair system, the natural hairline system, looks like real hair that's grown out of your scalp. That's the difference. It is 100% undetectable. And like I said, Charlie's work is completely guaranteed. You have nothing to lose but that shiny bald spot that makes you look so much older. You try Charlie's system for 30 days.
About 30, man.
And after a month, if you don't love the way it looks and feels, if you're not getting laid 15, 20, 30 times a day, make the call today and you can return it. What did I just say? Return it for a full refund. Here's the toll-free number, 1-800-321-2413, and tell Charlie you heard about it here on the Neil Rogers Show and get you your summer special QM $200 discount off the regular $800 price for the natural hairline system. The secret to a great hair system is make sure that nobody knows you're wearing one, and Charlie's skin-like hair system is as natural as it gets. Call him today and get your hair back, 1-800-321-2413. 1-800-321-2413 or on the wicked web, charlesalfieri.com.
When it comes to entertainment, it's Neil Rogers. Neil Rogers Middays. Sports Radio 560 UAM.
Anytown.
All right.
At 560 WQAM.
Oh, may I be helping you today? Hey, would you please be having a blue Slurpee? We are having a sale on cameras. We have had about many flavors. I'm afraid there is not peace at all.
R-A-G-G-A-G-A-D-A.
Okay, I'll tell you everything.
My skin may be brown from inside, I think. Yes, it's true, we put our women in bags. It is only because they smell so bad. You can blame a group reactions of a group, but we don't all drink our wee. We smell like our poop. Let's start making fun of me. Let's take off my beard, make my face clean. Raghead. If you excuse me, I ready to see your Raghead, ah-la-la-la. Raghead, ah-la-la-la. Raghead, ah-la-la-la. Raghead, ah-la-la-la. Raghead, ah-la-la-la.
Here's some great news for the British people, okay? I'm sure they'll be very relieved to hear this. Hundreds of thousands of Muslims have thought about leaving Britain after the London bombings, according to a new Guardian poll.
Really?
And the British people say, oh, we're so sorry, we'll pack you a falafel. And get out of here already. The figure illustrates how widespread fears are of an anti-Muslim backlash following the July 7th bombings, which were carried out by the British-born suicide bombers. The poll also shows that tens of thousands of Muslims have suffered from an increased Islamophobia, with 1 in 5 saying, what was that?
What?
Just had like a little power surge here. That was scary. What the hell was that?
Don't know.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
No, I guess everything's copacetic. The poll also shows that with 1 in 5 saying that they or a family member have faced abuse or hostility since the attacks, police have recorded more than 1,200 suspected Islamophobic incidents across the country, ranging from verbal abuse, go back where you came from, schmatahead, to one murder in the past 3 weeks. The poll suggests the headline figure is a large underestimate. In other words, there's like lots of Islamophobia. I can't figure that out, can you?
No, I wonder what that's all about.
And speaking of speaking of crazy people with rags on their heads, 14 Iraqis were killed yesterday in 2 separate suicide car bombings in the country's capital. In the first attack, 12 Iraqis died and 16 wounded when a suicide... And things, I want you to understand, are going extraordinarily well over there, okay?
That's right.
I mean, the insurgency is just about in its death throes, and that's what Dick Cheney says. How come he's not in jail? Liar, liar. That's all this man does is lie and cover up, and oh, man. The bomber drove his vehicle into the checkpoint at the Sadir Hotel around 6:15 in the morning yesterday. Let's see, there's some other stuff going on, too. 2 more dead American soldiers. On Sunday, a suicide truck bomb killed 25 and wounded 33 others near the Al-Rashad police station in Baghdad. A U.S. soldier was killed yesterday when a bomb was detonated near his vehicle near Samarra, etc. and so on. It just goes on and on and on, and the public is like, what does that have to do with Ricky? What does that have to do with Ricky? I don't want to say there's a lot of dumb people out there, but you know what? There's a lot of dumb people running around on the loose. Forced sterilization. Those are the 2 words you need to keep in mind, okay? Forced sterilization. And we're starting way too late, but it's never too late to start. The frog hater says, I'd like to add Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia. Well, Washington, D.C. is good enough for me. I've driven there many years ago.
No, never had the pleasure.
Haven't?
No.
You can go see all the great things there, the National Monument and the Capitol Building and the White House and the Grant's Tomb and the Lincoln, all that stuff.
So who's buried in Grant's Tomb?
Joe O'Brien. Poll question so far, where's the worst place you've ever driven? 237 votes, and Dade County is winning hands down your pantaloonies, 130.
About 30, man.
130. Boston, 32. New York, 23. I'll be honest with you, and I haven't been to New York in many, many years, but I used to rent a car when I go there, and compared to what you might think, now, unless you're a crazy person that gets on the expressway during rush hour, which that could be anywhere, you know, but I found driving in New York was not so bad then. Broward County, 20, which I think you're full of it. I think you're being very selective.
Sorry.
What? Okay, so maybe not as bad as Dave, but it ought to have more than 20 votes.
Maybe.
Driving in Broward sucks. You guys just don't hang out in the right places. Well, of course, George is where all the young people are. Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood, right.
Right.
Party town.
Los Angeles, 16. Rome, 7. Don't even think about doing it. Tampa, 4. I don't know what it is in Tampa, but like on Dale Mabry, every time that there's a traffic light, the traffic gets back, even in the middle of the afternoon, forget about rush hour, traffic gets back like about 3 miles. I don't know what it is.
Because all the damn trains.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No. Tampa, 4, they're also going to a Mama Zoenis. That must be what it is. Chicago, 3. Las Vegas, 2. Washington, D.C., London, and Jamaica don't have any yet. But it is a good machine, man. It is a very good machine. 567-0560. Neil and his Jamaican problem. I got a lot of problems, but I mean, not that anybody cares, but I have many problems, and I'm becoming, every day that I live, I become more and more bigoted, and that's just the way it is. They can't make a law saying that you can't become bigoted, okay? I just don't like people that smell bad and that act really arrogant and obnoxious, and of course, I'm not singling anybody out. That's the good part. I don't care where their family tree is all about or who was hanging in it or whatever. I just, if they were like reasonable people, like humans, and if they didn't stink like they just came out of a septic tank, which there are many of those people, and it seems like most of them hang out at Woodbine. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I want to put Chicago to the top of the list because I've been there last year, and I worked there for a month, and the place is a big chaotic circle of roads, and you could be driving down one road and you end up on another road without even making a turn.
And be very careful what neighborhood you wind up with. I once got lost driving in Chicago too, and believe you me.
Hold on, I want to put Buffalo a close second because this place is a dump.
Okay. Don't put it on there, buddy. No. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing, man?
The ghost of Irv Weinstein will be very upset about that. Yes, sir. Great. What do you got?
Beautiful. Hey, just a quick question. Is there any chance of getting a soundbite in Geldy's voice? He has the shack and all that. Can you do one in Ricky?
Ricky?
Can you do one for Ricky?
I'm sure we can arrange it. We can work it out.
That'd be great if you can. I'm losing you, but if you can, great. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks, Pally. Have a great life. 567-0560, pound 560 in the, hang on a second, whistle the tune. I just want to make sure that the power's on that. I mean, this room is on that thing. Yeah, it's fine. No, it's just that there was like of course you have those there all the time. Every time a bird flies over.
Sure. Every hour.
Have like a little bit of a problem. But then again, that's the way that goes.
If a bird flies over Louisiana.
Well, there's Lou Dobbs on CNN. Do we want to see him?
No.
Go away, Lou. We can't stand here. Go chase some illegal aliens and get out of here already. Go outsource your life. Get away from our face. You quisling, you
fairy.
WQAM, hello.
Oh, that's Ricky.
WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I would agree with you. Boston is pretty bad. I've been there 4 times, never actually rented a car, just drove around on the feet. Actually rode around on the feet. But has anyone said Amsterdam yet?
Oh, yeah, Amsterdam is an excellent choice because between the trams and the bicycles and the idiots and the narrow streets, which nobody knows which way they're supposed to go, yeah.
And you don't know when the street ends, and you don't know when there's going to be a tram only on the street. Also, there's no place to park, actually. There's pretty much a 24-hour traffic jam in the city the whole time. All right, Neil.
And not only that, but they have those streets where those things pop up out of the street, whatever they call those. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, those electronic things.
They have in the middle of the day, it'll pop up, and all of a sudden, you can't go straight because
do not enter. No access, no exit, no entrance. All right,
exactly.
Neil, take it easy,
Tokens. Well, there's a lot of exit and entrance, but it's a different story. In that place, 567-0560, pound 560. On the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Mo Howard, David Warm-Up Show. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Worst place I've ever driven, the Baltimore-Washington Parkway.
Okay.
You can put your car in park and read the Iliad and the Odyssey before you drive a mile.
Yeah.
And one thing that really makes me laugh, I don't know if you can play it again, but is that Jimmy and Danny little thing you used to play a long time ago. It reminds me of these people talking about Ricky.
No problem, man. You got it.
Thanks, Neil.
See ya. Why wouldn't we be able to play that? Do they say, they don't say that.
No.
Oh, it makes me want to say it when I think of those days. Jimmy and Danny, Danny and Jimmy. Now we got, and Ricky and that. Oh, brother. 10:56 at 560. There's Sky Miles O'Brien with a big smile on his face.
That's a fine picture.
Oh, yeah, there we go. He's kind of sounding a little bit strange there, Sky Miles. Maybe it's from hanging out with that bitch. And then they sent Soledad O'Brien over to London to, investigate. She's over there with Shylock Holmes with Scotland Yard. Who are you people kidding? Are you crazy or what? Soledad O'Brien, my ass. In fact, that's the sad part of it. That Joel O'Brien died and that bitch, she's still running around on the loose like a real journalist, like a reporter, like a bimbo, like a simpleton. 10:57 at 560 WQAM. TV's got a new schedule. Yours. On Demand is an exciting new feature that's been added to Comcast Digital Cable, and you can try it today for only $29.99 a month for 3 months. Comcast On Demand puts TV on your terms. Now you can choose from a library of shows with over 3,000 hours of free movies, TV shows, kids shows, sports, special interest programs. From a variety of TV shows at no extra charge to a huge library of movies for what you're used to paying for at the video store. Comcast On Demand will change the way you watch TV forever. Plus, you can start them whenever you like, whether it's 9:17 in the morning, 11:23 at night, whenever. Plus, with HBO On Demand, you can have an entire library of programming of HBO original series and movies right at your fingertips, all free with your subscription to HBO. And don't forget about Control, too. With On Demand, you can start, stop, pause, rewind, and fast-forward programs using that remote control. If you only have basic cable of the satellite dish, you're missing out. So make the move to Comcast Digital Cable today with the power of On Demand. Call 954-COMCAST or 305-COMCAST today and get yourself Comcast Digital Cable and HBO for only $29.99 a month for 3 months. Certain restrictions apply. Call for details in Dade, 305-COMCAST, in Broward, 954-COMCAST.
When it comes to sports, we're the authority. Sports Radio 560. Are you sure? QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. We have a mobile from Miramar. Hello?
Oh, yeah, can you hear me okay? I got a question about Jimmy and Danny situation.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny.
David Woodley.
Jimmy and Danny. We'll be back with more about Jimmy and Danny after this word from Bally Awan's Apartments, where every apartment comes with its own Frigidaire.
And don't forget, Ricky, it's 11:03 at 560 WQM. Attorney General Alberto Gonzales said Sunday that he spoke with White House Chief of Staff Andrew Card immediately after learning that the Justice Department had begun a criminal investigation into the leak of a CIA operative's identity. But Gonzales, who was the White House counsel at the time, waited 12 hours before officially notifying the rest of the staff of the inquiry. Many details of the investigation led by Special Prosecutor Patrick Fitzgerald are unknown. Sources close to the case have said Fitzgerald is looking into possible conflicts between what President Bush's senior advisor Karl Rove and Vice Presidential Staff Chief Louis Scooter Libby told the grand jury and the accounts of reporters who spoke with the two men. Gonzales said Sunday on Fox News Sunday that he's among the group of top current and former Bush administration officials who have testified to the grand jury about the unmasking of Valerie Plame, a CIA operative. Gonzales, who has recused himself from the case, would not discuss details of his testimony, but said he learned about Plame's work from newspaper accounts. In the Sunday New York Times, columnist Frank Rich reported that when Gonzales was notified about the investigation in the evening of Monday, September 29, 2003, he waited 12 hours before telling the White House staff about the inquiry. Official notification of staff is meant to quickly alert anyone who might have pertinent records to make sure that they're preserved and safeguarded. Asked on CBS's Face the Nation about the report, Gonzales said the Justice Department had informed his office around 8 p.m. and that White House lawyers said he could wait until the next morning before notifying the staff. He didn't say why he called Card. I specifically had our lawyers go back to the Department of Justice lawyers and ask them, do you want us to notify the staff now? Immediately, it would be okay to notify the staff early in the morning. And we were advised, go ahead and notify the staff early in the morning. That would be okay.
Okay.
He said most of the staff had left by the time the Justice Department called and that no one knew about the investigation. But he acknowledged telling one person, the Chief of Staff, and immediately the next morning, I told the President, he said, and shortly thereafter there was notification sent out to all members of the White House staff. Senator Joe Biden of Delaware, appearing on the same program, questioned why Gonzales would not have notified the staff immediately by email and suggested Fitzgerald should pursue whether Card may have given anyone in the White House advance notice to prepare for a criminal investigation. The real question now is, who did the Chief of Staff speak to? Did the Chief of Staff pick up the phone and call Karl Rove? Did the Chief of Staff pick up the phone and call anybody else? Biden be asking? And the people are saying, and Ricky. That's what they have to say about that. Scotty in Fort Lauderdale says, add the Vegas Strip from there. Well, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Don't we have Vegas on there?
Yes, we do.
Too? That's what we're talking about, the Strip. We don't need to put specific like roads. That would be like saying, well, how about on Sunrise Boulevard between, University and Pine Island? The Vegas Strip from the MGM to the Treasure Island could take you an hour on a weekend. So Scotty in Fort Lauderdale. That's my point, Scotty. If you rent a car there, which you really should, although Josh doesn't get it, but if you rent a car there, don't drive on a Strip. That's all. Drive on the back roads there. Get a little map.
Just one block over.
That's right. Get a little map and learn the ins and the outs, the yin and the yang, if you're going to go to Vegas.
But you don't really have to have a car, even though, some people...
Let me say it again. Rent a car.
You don't have to have a car.
No, you don't have to have a car, but rent a car. That's my advice. I mean, no, you don't have to. You can get on the... they have that little, whatever they call it, shuttle.
Right. Cabs, limos, trolleys.
No.
Beat.
See, the problem with the cabs is some of those cab idiots, they'll get on the Strip. They'll take you out there because it keeps the meter running, and it's going to cost you like about $150 to go from the MGM Grand up to wherever you want to go, to Caesars. Don't go to Caesars, by the way. Go there to eat and shop. Do not go there to gamble.
Nice shops.
Go there, check out the shops at Caesars. Yeah. That Bacchanal we talked about where they have that fantastic feast. I wonder if that's still...
I don't know.
Still going?
Yeah, but it's not gambling.
How do you know about it?
I went there.
When?
On one of our trips, I went to the Bacchanal.
Yeah, 100 years ago. You're talking about the Bob Lincoln trips. Oh, God. Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah, those were the days.
Man, maybe he'll call in one of these days, but let's hope not.
I'm sure he will.
Actress and activist Jane Fonda. Hanoi Jane says she intends to take a cross-country bus tour to call for an end to U.S. military operations in Iraq. You go, Jane.
Oh!
I can't go into any detail except to say it's going to be pretty exciting, she said. And, wait, you've heard about what they're going to be using to fuel the tour? To fuel the bus?
Vegetable oil?
How'd you hear that?
I just took a guess.
Get out of here.
Seriously.
Fonda said her anti-war tour in March will use a bus that runs on vegetable oil. In fact, they're taking Gilbert and the Prozac Ron, and they're going to grind them up.
I'm going to go to the track today.
She'll be joined by families of Iraq War veterans and her daughter. They plan to return to the Santa Fe area where she was promoting her book, My Life So Far, over the weekend. Prompted by a question from the audience, Fonda said, war veterans she has met on a nationwide book tour have encouraged her to break her silence on the Iraq War. I've decided I'm coming out, she said. Oh, God, what a thought. Hundreds of people in the audience cheered loudly when Fonda announced her intentions to join the anti-Iraq war movement. I haven't taken a stand on any war since Vietnam, she said. I carry a lot of baggage from that.
Yeah.
Fonda,
I would say.
Yeah, what an understatement that is. Speaking of what's in your baggage, well, too bad you can't see the picture of this. We could probably put it on our website, but that would be grotesque.
Hold it up to the mic.
A sculpted and polished phallus found in a German cave is among the earliest representations of male sexuality ever uncovered, researchers say. The 20-centimeter long, 3-centimeter wide stone object, which is dated to be about 28,000 years old. Oh, God, I've never seen one that old. Was buried in the famous...
And you lived here.
Was buried in the famous maybe I have to think about it. Holfels Cave near Ulm in the Swabian Jura. Whatever, I have no idea what any of those words are. The prehistoric tool was reassembled from 14 fragments of siltstone, and it's got the word tool in, like, quotation marks. We'll just leave that as it is. Its life size suggests it may well have been used as a sex aid by its Ice Age maker, scientists report. In addition to being a symbolic representation of male genitalia, it was also at times used for napping flints, explained Professor Nicholas Conrad from the Department of Early Prehistory and Quaternary Ecology at Tübingen University. Oh, Tübingen, they know their penises there. There are some, that's why they call it Tübingen.
I'll bet.
There are some areas where it has some very typical scars from that, he told the BBC News website. From napping flints.
Of course.
If you get them hot enough, Anyway, researchers believe the object's distinctive form and etched rings around one end mean there can be little doubt as to its symbolic nature. It's highly polished. It's clearly recognizable, said Professor Conard. Did I call him Conrad? Well, whatever his stinking name is. The Tübingen team working whole fellows already had 13 fractured parts of the phallus in storage, but it was only with the discovery of the 14th fragment last year that the team was finally able to put the jigsaw puzzle together. The different stone sections were all recovered from a well-dated ash layer in the cave complex associated with the activities of modern humans, not their prehistoric cousins, the Neanderthals. The dig site is one of the most remarkable in Central Europe. Whole Fell stands more than 500 meters above sea level in the Ach River Valley and has produced thousands of Upper Paleolithic items. Some have been truly exquisite in their sophistication and detail, such as a 30,000-year-old avian figurine crafted from mammoth ivory. It's believed to be one of the earliest representations of a bird in the archaeological record. Oh, speaking of whatever I was just thinking about, dropping the soap, let me just say this to you. Zest has now got body wash. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Now, anybody out there that complains that Zest isn't manly enough for you, I mean, get serious. Zest body wash.
Yeah, with a name like that?
Josh is going to run out and get some this afternoon.
No, I'm good.
You don't like Zest?
And is Zest right over there?
I don't use it.
Well, why not? Do you ever use Zest soap?
In my life,
probably. I have.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Zest is good. It's a nice manly soap, man. Well, they got like 2 different fragrances now of Zest body wash. Schmear it. Anyway, there are other stone objects known to science that are obviously phallic symbols and slightly older from France and Morocco, but to have any representation of male genitalia from this time period is highly unusual. Female representations with highly accented sexual attributes are very well documented at many sites, but male representations are very, very rare, explained Professor Conard. And it shows a figure here, a female form, a 30,000-year-old Venus of Willendorf with very, very saggy boobies. I mean, this is really, oh, God.
Yeah, probably to scale.
She has a body like, what was her name? Like, on Good Times. What the hell was her name?
On Good Times?
Yeah.
Like Florida?
Esther Roll.
Florida.
In fact, a big jelly roll. At any rate, current evidence indicates the Swabian Jura of southwestern Germany was one of the central regions of cultural innovation after the arrival of modern humans in Europe some 40,000 years ago. Oh, what's that going to do to the Bible crowd, huh? The Jesus Christ is 40,000 years and the Jews. You devil worshippers, you crazy people. The Holfels Palace will go on show at Blaubeuren Prehistoric Museum in an exhibition called Ice Art Clearly Male. Like that.
They found it buried in a famous cave.
Is that what I said?
That's what the article said, yeah. I just wondered whose it was.
Well, maybe they're going to find out. Maybe it belonged to somebody at QAM. 12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQAM. Maybe it belonged to Mo. A lot of people have called him a big man in the business. Did you get a good night's sleep last night? Were you tossing and turning all night like poor Bobby Lewis? Tired of that small, cramped bed? Maybe your old mattress is worn out, lumpy, bumpy. It's just had it. Time to step up to a new queen or king-size bed from our good friends at Dial a Mattress. When you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll choose from Florida's largest inventory of queen and king-size beds, ready for same-day delivery. And you choose the date and time in a 2-hour window 7 days a week when it's convenient for you, like, say, Monday between 8 and 10 in the morning, or noon and 2. And you can do it between 8 in the morning and 10 at night any day of the week, 7 days. Dial a Mattress carries the complete line of all the top names in the mattress business. You like it? They got it. Serta, Sealy, Simmons, King Coral, Stearns, and Foster Hewitt. Their everyday low prices and deep stock make your shopping a breeze. When you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll speak with an expert bedding consultant who listens to your need, will suggest a style and comfort level that's perfect for you. And the reason these people know bedding so well is because that's all they sell. Just about all the QM crowd sleeps like a baby on a Dial a Mattress bed, and you ought to be doing the same. And if you'd like to start real soon, just make that one easy call. 1-800-MATTRESS, or on the web it's mattress.com. Dial a Mattress, 1-800-MATTRES. Leave off the last S because it stands for savings.
When it comes to sports, we're the authority. Sports Radio 560. Okay. QAM. Stop us at night.
Hey Jude, who's in your bed? Your girlfriend, or is that your nanny? Remember, next time to go lock the door, so your little children won't see when you score. Hey Jude, who just walked in? It's your daughter who had a nightmare. wife, and that was the start of ruining your life.
Oh, Father!
What is it, love?
Who is that in the bed with you?
Go back to bed, love.
Is that Mommy?
No, it's not Mommy.
Is it Sienna?
No, it's not Sienna.
Is it the nanny?
It's the nanny, it's the nanny underneath me here.
Why is the nanny underneath you?
It's a long story, hon.
I've had a really bad nightmare.
Not like the one I'm having right now. Go back to bed, will you? Back to bed, please.
But what are you doing?
Please go back to bed.
I need some more milk.
No, I need some more milk too. Go back to bed. Please go back to bed.
I've got to call Mother.
Hey Jude, what have you done? Was it worth it for just one night of fun? It's over, everyone knows what you did. You got caught red-handed by your little kid.
11:19 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday to you. Our poll question today: who was your favorite O'Brien? Sky Miles O'Brien, Soledad O'Brien, Joe O'Brien, the MC8 disc jockey who just died, Joe O'Brien, the harness racing driver, Edmund O'Brien, or Pat O'Brien? Huh?
Okay.
Can you imagine all the famous O'Briens there must be?
We could start the list now.
All those pasty Irishmen. 314 votes. Where's the worst place you've ever driven? Dade County. Boy, nobody can touch it. And who the hell would want to in any language? 170 in Dade. Boston 39, New York 29, Broward 24, LA 22, Rome 9. See, I just figured out why Dade is so far ahead of Broward.
Yeah, I know.
And that is because anybody in South Florida who drives has driven in both Dade and Broward County.
Exactly.
So naturally, they have to choose one or the other, and it's no
Right.
contest. I see. I get it now. Rome 9, don't even think about it. London 5. In fact, just crossing the street in Rome is taking your life in your hands. Move real fast. That's my suggestion to you. And Milan, oh, man. One thing about Milan, if you're crossing the street, they don't care. I mean, a lot of places, like here, you can cross the street and you can be very certain that if there's a car coming a little bit, they're going to slow down or they're going to swerve and avoid you. In Milan, I think they're going to accelerate a little bit just to make sure they can hit you. London 5, Tampa 5, Chicago 5, Washington, D.C. 4, Jamaica 2, even if you have a good machine man, be very careful. Vegas appear and Amsterdam don't have any. Which means that probably most of our audience, I know a lot of you have been to Amsterdam, but you just haven't driven there. Good idea. You can rent a bicycle real cheap. The only thing I've always wondered about, let's see, now Josh hasn't been in Amsterdam, your friend was, did you say?
I've had a bunch of friends.
Okay. Well, maybe you've seen pictures, and even maybe George has seen some pictures, and they show you all those bicycles, parked at those...
yes, indeed.
Right.
The thing I always wonder is, like by Bijenkorf, which is the big department store on the by Dam Square, that Dam Square, there's a place where they got like 80 million bicycles parked there. What I always wonder, since they all look almost exactly the same, how do you know which one is yours when you come back?
Well, you know your own bike.
You do?
Yeah, if you're just walking by looking at a whole bunch of bikes, you're not going to notice the differences. I'll notice anything.
It's kind of like living in suburban Buffalo, where all the houses look the same, and if you're a little bit tipsy, you had a couple belts after work, and you come home, I guarantee you're going to drive in the wrong driveway, and maybe get lucky. Who knows? No, I always wonder that about all them bikes.
Yeah, you're right.
And, of course, there are stolen bikes in Amsterdam. And, well, give us a description of your bike. Well, it looks like all of these here, I don't get it. And then, of course, there's the tram. Let me just make a suggestion to you. Try to sit down before they hit the accelerator on the tram. Remember I told you the story? This was right about the time when I broke my hand when I had that bad fall in the red light district there. And I'm on the tram, and just was one of my early experiences, and wham! Went flying into the pole. They got those poles to hang on to.
Right.
And then just when I got myself settled, he slammed on the thing again and went slamming the other side of my ribs. So if you like the ribs, that's a good place for it. Don't eat the food in Amsterdam either, by the way. All you touristas out there, we still got all of August to go and a little bit of July. Doug Thompson, your favorite columnist who writes The Rant in Capitol Hill Blue, he's got another really, really good one here today. Not that I want to read a lot of stuff, because that would be very bad, only being on 2 days a week and sitting here reading bedtime stories. But most of you won't read on our website anyway because you're too damn lazy and we don't have any naked pictures on there for you anymore. Well, you know what? Too stinking bad. I think about that a lot, at least 20, 30 seconds a day. It just frosts my fat old ass. But, I mean, it goes to show you how stupid I am. I'm an idiot. People don't give a crap what's going on in the world. They don't care about anything. All they want to do is look at nude pictures, that's all.
There you go.
God, get a life already, will you?
I have no life.
Bush is not an American, writes Doug Thompson. He says some of the die-hard, rabid right-wingers who still support George W. Bush's immoral and illegal actions tried recently to overload my email system by flooding it with bitches and moans over recent columns about their poster boy for destruction of the Constitution. Their grand plan didn't work. My anti-spam filter caught most of them because it quite properly considers GOP-generated mail spam as it does for Democratic-generated mail. The handful of messages that got through cried about the language I used to describe their president. Your crude, obscene language destroys your credibility, said one. Why not just shut up and go away? Gotta wonder who writes these missives for Bushites, since most of the right-wing morons who clutter up bulletin boards like Free Republic can't string together a simple declarative sentence, probably computer-generated. They're not the only ones who get upset at my language when it comes to describing the puke fest called the Bush administration. Hell, my mother complains, and she's no fan of Bush. Too damn bad. I don't really give a flying F who gets bent out of shape. That's their problem. With Bush and his gang of goons at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue so hell-bent at destroying the Constitution in America, I don't have time to be polite. Bush is a heartless bastard who doesn't play by the rules, so why should those of us who still love this country too much to see it destroyed by this madman? This is no longer an issue of differing political opinions or philosophies. This is war, a fight for survival of a once great nation called America, and war calls for street rules. In other words, no rules. Bush, in my opinion, is criminally insane, a pill-popping dry drunk whose erratic behavior and reckless actions threaten world peace and the future of this nation far more than any Islam-spouting religious fanatic. He is an enemy of the state, a mood-swinging despot who threatens the very freedoms that form the foundation of this country. He's created a police state where basic American freedoms have vanished under a politically exaggerated threat to national security, milked the human tragedy of 9/11 for his personal agenda, and ripped the Constitution to shreds through the USA Patriot Act, a rights-robbing piece of legislation put together by his former Attorney General, the Bible-thumping John Ashcroft, and an inept former senator who couldn't even win an election against a dead man. George W. Bush is also not an American. He and his daddy sold their souls and their loyalty long ago to Saudi oil interests, especially the bin Laden family. Yes, the same bin Ladens whose relative masterminded 9/11 attacks. The bin Ladens laundering money through W's old Texas Air Guard buddy James Bath, the North American representative for the bin Laden family bank, bailed out Bush on his first failed business adventures and then bankrolled his first run for Texas governor. According to Craig Unger, author of House of Bush, House of Saud, the Bush family has over the years received some $480 million from the Saudi business interests, including the bin Laden family. Bush is a politician, and politicians are by road for sale to the highest bidder, so you tell us, has anyone outbid the Saudis and the bin Ladens for Bush's loyalty? Having a president on the payroll of the family of the man who killed 3,000-plus Americans on 9/11 raises a very real concern that Bush's illegal and immoral actions are a lot more than just politics as usual. It may explain the decision to all but abandon the search for bin Laden in Afghanistan and move American military resources to the ill-conceived invasion of Iraq. It took less than a year to capture Saddam Hussein, yet bin Laden is still at large nearly 4 years after 9/11 attacks. All of this suggests to me that the President of the United States owes a lot more to his Saudi money boys than he does to the country he's sworn to serve. It tells me the President of the U.S. is a traitor. Traitors should not be president. They should be arrested, tried, and upon conviction, punished for their crimes against their country. And as far as I'm concerned, anyone who continues to support this traitor to America is equally guilty of treason. Don't like these characterizations? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn if it pisses you off, because I do give a damn about my country. It's just too effing bad that you don't. There's your good buddy, Doug Thompson, huh? Pretty good stuff.
You go, Doug.
Yeah, you go, boy. 27 after 11 at 560 WQM. For years I've been telling you about Dry Concepts, the best carpet cleaning company in the universe. I've used them for over 20 long, excruciating years in a variety of homes. But did you know that Dry Concepts can also save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars in other areas by doing other things for you? Dry Concepts also specialize in drapery cleaning, upholstery and leather furniture restoration, mattress cleaning, oriental rug cleaning and repair, pet odor treatments, and water damage. Dry Concepts can also clean and restore your tile and grout quickly and efficiently, too. Dry Concepts' professional staff is always improving to serve you, their customers, with the most advanced cleaning systems ever invented. And during the month of July, it's Dry Concepts Summer Sizzler Sale. Take advantage of great savings on all of Dry Concepts services, from carpet cleaning to tile and grout cleaning. It's the only place to call Dry Concepts. And Dave Broward in the Palm Beaches, call them toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. Don't forget, no rip-offs, no scams, no games. They give you a guaranteed written price up front before they start the job. That number again, toll-free, 1-800-248-5071, or on the Wicked Web, it's dryconcepts.com.
When it comes to entertainment, we've got the biggest personality. Neil Rogers, Vintage 72, Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Makes me wanna take off my jacket pants and shake my bag around and take that China and get cranky. Boy makes me lose control. I never say door, you gay sport holes. Oi, baby. Door. I squeeze my members and go doy, night and day. Yay, doy makes me feel giddy and so gay. Yay, you make me wanna hold my knees real tight and take off my jacket pants and I say doy now. Till I tell you how. For this, you stop the song?
11:34, the voice of the Panthers, baby. Don't mess with the Geldemeister, the voice of your Florida Panthers. Any interest?
No.
Anyway, here's this should give you an idea of what's going on now. For years I've said, why can't we have like one state, just one? Like, what would be a good state?
South Carolina.
No.
Kansas.
South Carolina. Are you doing your psychic stuff again? Because this story's about South Carolina.
I had heard the story already.
Oh. Why can't we have one state where everybody like New York would be good? You know, it's big.
Yeah.
There's room for like many, many millions of us. And we can go there and just live our lives, leave everybody alone, and let people believe whatever fairy tales they want, and that's it. Keep your religious bullcrap to yourself. Frank and Tammy Janoski, the Pennsylvania Pilgrims, have landed. Greenville, South Carolina. With their 4 children, they've settled into a little subdivision in the country, the first transplants of a movement that wants to bring legions of conservative Christians here to turn South Carolina's government into a biblically inspired oasis. They're even going to bring in Russ Oasis. How do you like that?
Ooh.
They'll probably put on some bad radio stations. In the South Carolina of their dreams, abortion would be illegal. The 10 Commandments would be proudly displayed. Public schools would be a thing of the past. Taxes would be severely limited. And property rights would be paramount. And if the federal government tried to interfere, well, they'd secede. So far, the Christian Exodus movement hasn't been a mighty magnet for change. Only 4 other families have followed the Janoski's lead, a far cry from the thousands of Christians touted on the group's website. Even the founder of the group is still in his California home, promising to move in 2006 or 7 or 8 or 9 or when he gets around to it. Their idea, however, is as old as America, a haven for like-minded people with a government run according to their particular religious beliefs. Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Utah all got their start as religious sanctuaries. And it touches a deep-seated tension within Christianity, how much to withdraw from the contaminating influences of the outside world, and how much to engage the world and try to transform it. Historically, evangelical Christianity has had a vacillating relationship with the culture, said James L. Guth, a professor of political science at Furman University, who has studied the influence of religion on politics. For much of the 19th century, evangelical Protestants were the culture. A lot of that changed for a while in the 20th century. They tried to wall themselves off from the culture. That shift from engagement to withdrawal, known as the Great Reversal, you ever heard the Great Reversal?
No.
We did now. Formed the fundamentalist branch of evangelicals, intent on protecting themselves from such worldly influences as the theory of evolution and the seductions of Hollywood. Conservative Christians often said it a biblical injunction. Therefore come out from them and be separate from them, says the Lord, and touch nothing unclean. Then I will welcome you. Don't touch it, it's unclean. Or at least clean it off first. That stance began to change by mid-century as more moderate evangelicals broke from the fundamentalists, and in the 1980s, the emergence of such groups as the Christian Coalition and the Moral Majority brought many conservative Christians back into the political fray, invoking Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. You are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world. Let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. For your Father, for your Father. That reversal of the Great Reversal, some scholars call it, is now in full swing. Politically active conservative Christians were crucial to Bush's election victories in 2000 and 2004, and their vocal supporters as Supreme Court nominee, John G. Roberts, Jr. To Corey Brunell, founder of Christian Exodus, that political activity isn't enough. He wants something more radical, a kind of Christian-free state. Well, couldn't we have like a Christian-free zone?
Oh, if only.
A religion-free zone. I'm jonesing for a religious-free zone. We believe that Christ's admonition to go and make disciples of all nations does not exclude any facets of life, Brunell said in telephone from his Valley Springs, California home. We're asking people to move and do something new. Our intent is to put men in office who will do what ousted Alabama Supreme Court Chief Justice Roy Moore did, defy the federal government. Dang it. The group's goal is to have 2,500 members in 2 upstate counties by September 2006, that's in South Carolina, and as many as 12,000 by 2008. That, Brunell said, would be enough to elect local candidates and snowball into a statewide force. Soon enough right-thinking officials would be, and it's far-right-thinking officials would be elected to force a confrontation with the feds. Just like in California, the pot crowd out there, look how successful they've been.
That's right.
We're proponents of federal conflict, Brunell said. People ought to stand up there to flirt with the rest. Brunell, 29, used to be a regional director in Texas for the League of the South, a secessionist organization. Robert Hayes, director of the League in South Carolina, said his group is working with Christian Exodus on the common goal of self-government. The last time South Carolina seceded from the Union was December 20th, 1860, lighting the fuse that touched off the Civil War. This time, Brunell figures succession, if necessary, could be peaceful. He admits the state couldn't fight the U.S. military. Well, that's quite an admission on his part. I don't think it'll come to bloodshed, he said. I think it'll come to compromise. Many South Carolinians, including conservatives, are skeptical about the new group. It doesn't seem to be the kind of thing that would have much impact, said Bob Taylor, a Greenville County councilman who also is a dean at Bob Jones University, the fundamentalist Christian college here. Active in Republican politics, Taylor said that even the conservative religious right is not where they want to go. And Taylor said of the notion of secession, that didn't turn out so well last time, did it? Brent Nelson, a Christian who's political science professor at Furman University, said, what kind of balance do they expect to tip? The balance is already strongly Republican and from the religious right. This is a conservative part of the state and a conservative part of the country, Nelson said. Many of the elected officials are seen as Christian men who bring Christian values to their decision-making. I don't think Christian Exodus is going to make a big dent here. The Janoskis, however, say they've only gotten supportive reactions from their new neighbors. At least to my face, no one has said anything negative, said Frank Janoski, 38, an affable, self-employed computer engineer. I haven't met anyone who said, y'all need to go home. Y'all need to go home now, you hear? The Janoskis moved here in February from Mooresville in Berks County. They had lived in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania for 11 years. Tammy grew up in nearby Layton before moving to Mooresville 2 years ago. They learned about Christian Exodus from a church friend. Tear the churches down and the shoals, all of that crap, and the mosques. Tear them down, right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying right now. You just worship at home, okay? Go into a little closet somewhere and do your mumbo-jumbo, whatever it is, and leave everybody else alone. Take all that money and feed the starving people instead of, praying for them. Dissatisfied with Republican politicians, Frank Janoski said the Christian Exodus philosophy resonated with him. The Republicans control government, yet things are getting worse. When I found Christian Exodus, I thought, here's a bunch of Christians like me. Yeah, that's right, Frank. Just like you. We want to take an area that's conservative to begin with and bring in more conservatives and have an influence. We want to return to a country where you can protect the life of the unborn, define marriage as a man and a woman, and protect family values. You fairy. Joe Elster, 41, brought his wife and 3 children here last month from Omaha after hearing about Christian Exodus on conservative radio talker Sean Hannity's program.
Oh, my gosh.
Born in Philadelphia and reared in Buffalo,
Rectum,
Elster saw the chance to be closer to family in Virginia and North Carolina while advancing his political beliefs. I've been a Republican ever since I was able to vote, but I voted for the Constitution Party in 2004, Elster said. I wonder if he's kin to Kevin Elster. Remember Kevin Elster, Josh?
Who?
Mets?
No.
Sitting in his new home in Inman. The Republican Party. You don't remember Kevin Elster, shortstop for the Mets? You idiot. The Republican Party has gotten away from those who got them elected. The judiciary is out of control. It's time somebody did something, and that's what Christian Exodus is doing, about doing something. Brunel, the Christian Exodus founder, acknowledged that hope we'd be further along by now, but if it takes 2 years or 20 years, we're making progress, and as we have successes, I'm sure more people will join us. Hop aboard. Right? Hot dogs, hop aboard, as Chris Moore would say. Remember Chris Moore?
I
and
do.
Kevin Elster? I can't believe you don't know who Kevin Elster was.
Who?
Shortstop for the Mets. He was hot, I'll tell you that. It's 18 till noon at 560 WQAM. Hey, racing fans, Pompano Park Racing and Poker is gearing up for its final 2 weeks of live harness racing and poker before they take a short 3-week break in mid-August. Every Wednesday is dollar night with draft beer, soda, hot dogs, and other food items, just $1 a piece, plus the Sunshine Stakes series for Florida-bred trotters and pacers. Even Joe O'Brien would be proud. And, of course, there are great poker tournaments every afternoon and evening in the poker room with free drawings to win $50 betting vouchers every live racing day in the poker room between 4 and 7 p.m. This Saturday, Pompano Park will feature simulcasting from the Meadowlands with their $1.2 million Hamiltonian Trot preliminary races and the $1.2 million Classic Series finals with special 5 p.m. post time. That's this Saturday. It pays to come and play at Pompano Park Racing and Poker, just a half mile from both I-95 and the Turnpike. Pompano Park is easy to get to, and best of all, they give you free admission and free general parking every single day. Live harness racing in the poker room are every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Poker room is open from noon till midnight. Live racing gets underway at 7:25 p.m. Pompano Park, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. For the current racing schedule, go online at pompanopark.com or call them at 954-972-2000.
When it comes to entertainment, it's Neil Rogers Middays. Sports Radio 560, QAM.
WQAM, where the faggot is.
All the kiddies, they want to see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Veruca and Violet are back, and Johnny Depp looks like he's on crack. Giant glasses and a goofy top hat. Even as a pirate, he never wore that. Everything he does is loved by the fans, even when he had scissor hands. He looks troubled and insane. Tim Burton may have a screw loose. He has removed the golden egg goose. Wonder if he's been sniffing glue. He needs a padded room with no view. All the children lined up to see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. When it's over, they'll have nightmares. There may be pee-pee on their chairs. That's what you get when you hire a nut. Tim Burton should be working at Pizza Hut. They should have made this picture rated R, but it is still PG so far. You kids will never sleep again. All the children, they want to see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Veruca and Violet are back. Johnny Depp looks like he is on crack.
It's coming at still noon at 560 WQAM. Can't say Johnny Depp is one of those guys who took advantage of his pretty face.
No, he can act.
What's that movie, Something in the Window? That it's in the other room. I could go run and look. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
Something in the Window? No.
Whatever the hell that's called.
Rear Window?
Through the window. No, not Rear Window. You've seen Rear Window.
Sure.
Josh hasn't seen Rear Window. Well, you better go out, George, and get it for him today.
All right. He's got some catching up to do. He's got to see 1984.
I got a long way to go. Haven't seen 1984.
Right. He's got it on him.
What else?
I got to watch a bunch of stuff, George.
King Mutiny?
Yeah, well, that's down on the list.
Well, why is that?
Because we don't have it yet.
Oh, I got it. You're not getting it. Lionel, well, I mean, how many movies could I send down there for crying out loud?
They got
plenty of those, huh?
They got movie stores. We got ways. We have ways.
Good. Lionel Tate's violation of probation hearing has been delayed until at least October 17th after he was given a court-appointed attorney to defend him on charges that he robbed a pizza delivery man. Maybe the pizza delivery man looked like a terrorist. You think?
Don't they all?
Shoot first, ask questions later. Or if Lionel would have just waited till October 1. Assistant Public Defender H. Don Williams was appointed to represent Tate, 18. Tate's violation of probation hearing was changed from August 8th to October 17th, so Williams will have time to prepare. Now, is that H. Don Williams or Ricky Williams? Taylor remained in Broward County Jail awaiting the hearing. Ricky Williams, come on, your take. Let's hear about Ricky Williams. Not. Tate was freed on probation. I mean, let's face it, okay? So the guy likes to smoke a big fat one. What's wrong with that, all right?
None.
NFL with his drug crap. Here they got all these guys, all these athletes that have been doing all these steroids for years in all of the professional sports and even in Olympic and amateur sports. They've been taking all these performance-enhancing illegal drugs for a long time. And, when you smoked a big joint, well, who cares, okay? Grow up already, will you please? How does that enhance your performance by smoking a fat one or even a skinny one, huh? You can tell me, Mr. Expert.
It doesn't.
It does not.
No.
Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with anything.
If anything else.
Except just being a bunch of hypocrites, phonies. Yeah. Next thing you know, they'll be drinking beer, those athletes. Anyway, Tate was returned to jail in May after the pizza robbery charges, which are his second and most serious brush with law since his release. In September, police caught Tate outside with a knife at 2 o'clock in the morning when he was supposed to be in house arrest. Well, maybe he was filleting a fish. Maybe he was filleting some anchovies to put on that pizza. What do you know?
That's right.
If Tate is convicted of violating his probation, he could be returned to prison for a lengthy term, which might not be a really bad idea. Jim Lewis, Tate's longtime attorney, withdrew from the case recently, saying a painful divorce has left him unable to devote sufficient time to defending Tate. How do you like that? Well, we already know that. I got a whole bunch of good stuff here, but man, this one is forever. This would be the longest article I ever read, and I'm not going to do it. It's on our website, John Chuckman, Hitler's Shadow in the Coming Storm. You might want to take a look at it. Probably you won't. Maybe you can have somebody read it to you. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Maybe we could charge for that service. Maybe Josh in his spare time, in between doing the Marlin games and getting laid, in between that, he could let me read the article to you over the phone service. How would that be?
No problem.
Like for 10 cents a word?
Yeah, sounds about right.
We'll just put a lot of short articles on there. Because most of you people sure as hell aren't going to make the effort. There's no question about that, because there's no naked pictures, there's no girly pictures, there's no shots and boobies and none of that. Don't blame us, okay? Blame your fascist government. Blame your president and your representatives and your spineless bunch of phony, hypocritical, philandering members of Congress. Blame all of them. Because they always have to give you the goody two-shoes approach. Oh, well, that's disgusting and that's immoral. Right. These are guys, man, who are getting laid more in 1 week than most people do in a lifetime, and anything that moves. And why? Because they can. Bubba, he wasn't even doing that. He was just getting a little, action under the table there. And, we got the dress with a stain on it. Oh, my God. And the rest of the world was like looking at us. Are you people insane or what? Will you people ever grow up?
No.
Grow up already, America. And, of course, our response was?
I have no life.
Right. We want it, we like it, but we just we're afraid of it. Man, it must have come from those stodgy Brits, don't you think? All that puritanical crap.
Well, they came over here. Remember, the Puritans were too tainted, or the Brits were too tainted for the Puritans. That's why we have them.
Right. Well, ain't that taint? Oh, speaking of that, this fits right in, so to speak. What a great segue. Golden, Colorado. A lot of perverts out there, man. A woman who told police she wanted to be a cool mom pleaded guilty to sexual assault charges Monday for having sex with high school boys at parties where authorities said she supplied drugs and booze.
All right.
Sylvia Johnson, 40, pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts of sexual assault and 9 felony counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. These are high school kids. What's wrong with little booze and sex and
Just a little bit is okay.
Little weed, little wacky weed. As part of the plea agreement, prosecutors dropped 2 counts of distribution of methamphetamine.
Oh.
How unusual that is. She described herself as a cool mom, Detective R.J. Vanderveen wrote in the affidavit. He said Johnson told investigators she was never popular with classmates in high school and now began feeling like one of the group. It was kind of like a group grope. She liked it. And I guess they did too, I would think. Prosecutors did not recommend a sentence, but each sexual assault count carries up to 2 years in prison, and each count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor carries up to 6 years, DA spokeswoman Pam Russell said. Johnson, who's free on bail, held parties for boys almost weekly between October 2003 and October 2004, authorities said. She was accused of providing drugs and booze to 8 boys and having sex with 5 of them. The other 3 were probably too ugly. Or maybe they were gay. Police said the investigation began after one of the boys told his mother about the encounters and reported it to the authorities. See, not a good idea to bring some snitches in there.
Freaking little narc.
Some little snitch to out the bitch. That's bad. So, but she should have done her homework better. She should have found out who would,
That's right.
Oh, guess what movie I saw again the other day, and I couldn't turn it off. I can't think of the name of it again.
Oh,
with the punk from Dawson's Creek that I can't stand, but was very good in the movie.
I don't know any of the...
Yes, you do. In the movie where they're all having the orgies and he's like, his eyes are popping out of his head. You know exactly what I'm talking about. One of the best movies of all time. Am I going to have to go in the other room and look it up
Give me
again?
a little more than that.
The punk from Dawson's Creek. You know what? That goofball-looking guy?
James Vanderbeek.
James Vanderbeek. What's the name of the movie? See, neither one of you knows it.
You're talking about
rules of attraction.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Jesus, Scott, I'm supposed to be the old senile one on the show. You're supposed to be the...
the one with Jessica Biel, and I would have guessed it right away.
I see. Well, I like Victor myself. I don't know what the actor's name was. Victor. Remember Victor in that great little synopsis we had of his trip? I'll tell you one thing. I've been to Europe many times, but I never had quite the trip that he did. Oh, man. Victor. And Victor, when Kingston Trio was singing Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, Victor must have been listening. Because he let it all hang out in that one scene, in that shower scene there. Victor, what's that? But at any rate, that's a great movie. Not good, great. And, of course... You know, you're always complaining about the endings of the movies.
Yeah, no, that was.
And the way it ends is like, huh? Okay, right. It was perfect for that movie.
Yes, it was.
And there was poor Paul, you know, and then of course Faye Dunaway was great with her cameo role there, and the other mother. It was a fantastic. Of course, it's perverted and disgusting. It's just the kind of filth that you'd be touting on your show, Neil. All those good Christians and the Farbissen Jews out there, we don't approve of such filth. And even the Amish are pretty PO'd about it, although they might enjoy it. How would the Amish know if they'd enjoy anything unless they try it, right? Take off those stupid old hats.
They have days.
See, all you people out there, they're living in a Stone Age, okay? The Orthodox Jews, the Hasidim, the Amish, the fundamentalist Muslims, all you other people that don't want to come even like into the 18th century already. I think that South Carolina is a good idea.
Sure.
All like-minded people who believe that crap and want to live in a Stone Age and got the schmatzes over their face and on their heads, fine, go to South Carolina.
I would have preferred North Dakota for them, but...
South Carolina would be fine. It's a perfect place, although they do have a couple of nice
all the way out of the way now.
Again, where's the worst place you've ever driven? Dade County 190, Boston 45, New York 32. Broward. Broward's got...
About 30, man.
L.A. 25, Rome 10, Tampa 7, Washington, D.C. 6, Chicago 6, London 5, Jamaica 5, Mon, Vegas 3, and Amsterdam has solamente uno.
When it comes to sports, we're the authority. Sports Radio
This is Coach Don Schuler, and I sound like Bob Hope on acid. And I want to tell you, it's the 12 to 1 hour, or whatever it is.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story. They revolutionized rap music with politically charged tunes that scared the living crap out of white businessmen. They were Public Enemy.
People get scared when a black man tells the truth.
By the time their song accompanied the incendiary Spike Lee film Do the Right Thing, Caucasians were shaking in their boots. We scoured our archives for one mid-'80s soundbite from a white guy who would support our fear-mongering theory and make you think it's representative of a cross-section of America. And here it is.
Public Enemy wants us all dead!
Chuck D and Flavor Flav called for no less than a revolution. Only years later can we see how their critique of the system really changed the status quo. Only the bitter lessons learned by entrenched poverty, an unspoken class system, and subconscious fear of African power could culminate in Flavor Flav appearing on The Surreal Life.
Oh, dear God. I begged him not to do that.
Public Enemy manager, Slappy Gold.
Brigitte Nielsen, that freakish thyroid case, and Flav's still wearing that stupid clock around his neck. Oh, give me a break.
Chuck D had this to say.
Hey, we tried,
Public Enemy. Proof that in a free United States, you can say anything that's on your mind. Because, man, do we have short attention spans. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business.
Absolutely.
Tonight on Inside the Behind.
1203 at 560, WQM, all the hype, all the time. We got Mo Howard, David coming along at 2, Jim Manders, the Mad Dog at 4, and then at 6:30, it's Marlins on deck. Any interest?
No.
Should be a huge crowd out there. What is it, about 110 degrees in the shade?
Yeah.
Pirates at the Marlins tonight. Pirates are always an attractive draw.
No.
Not. And Eddie K after the baseball game. Marlins are hot, though. They're starting to make a little bit of a turnaround. Didn't they sweep the Giants this weekend, I believe?
No, they took 2 or 3. But
like I said, they took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. They lost 8-6 the first game or something, didn't they?
Something like that.
Something like that. Uh-oh. Mr. Marlin there,
remember
something like that. First it was rules of attraction, and now it's, although he did come up with James Van Der Geek. Ordinarily, I cannot stomach him. He just gives me spilkies, but he's so perfect in that movie. I mean, he plays that role just exactly the way it needs to be played. And the role, too. And then in the end, better not ruin the ending.
Don't.
Country singer Mindy McCready. Anybody know Mindy McCready? Any country music people out there? You ever hear of her?
No.
Well, Josh?
No.
Well, we better crank up Kiss and hear some Mindy McCready music, huh?
Well,
Troubled country singer Mindy McCready. And, of course, isn't that like a little redundant? Troubled country music singer? All seem to have a lot of problems. Of course, the inbred part, that is a problem in the beginning. You know, the inbred part?
Mm-hmm.
Whole country western thing leaves me really limp. The people who sing it, the people who listen to it. Troubled country singer Mindy McCready has been hospitalized in Florida after an overdose, according to authorities. McCready, 28, was found unconscious Friday in a hotel lobby, according to authorities in Pinellas County. An incident report did not list the nature of the overdose. It must have been just like, Tylenol or something, when you think?
I'm sure.
Last week, McCready was charged in Arizona with identity theft and other counts. Within the past 2 years, she's also faced allegations of driving under the influence and a drug violation. She's got some problems. Old Mindy, never heard of her.
I'm sure she'll be writing songs about it.
Dennis Tomlin, who might be related to, Terry Tomlin, said earlier Monday that McCready had gone to Florida to visit her mother when she found out about the potential charges in Arizona. The stress got to her. She ended up in the hospital, she said. He said that she was in intensive care. Details concerning the charges filed last week in Mojave County, Arizona, were not immediately available. Also, in other words, not that there's a cover-up, you understand, but you know what? There's a cover-up.
Is there?
Besides identity theft, charges against McCready included attempted fraudulent schemes and artifices, unlawful imprisonment, and hindering prosecution. Tomlin said last week that the singer was helping Arizona authorities apprehend a con artist who had bilked her and other celebrities out of large sums of money. I wonder if he knew, what's his name? My former agent, Saul Foose.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't elaborate on the details and declined to discuss them Monday night. In May, McCready was charged in Tennessee with driving under the influence. Why am I reading all this? Nobody has any idea who this bitch is. I don't know who she is, nor I couldn't care less. If she's got something to do with country music, then count me out. Remember Gary Lewis, whatever his name was? Gary Lewis said, count me in, count me out. Okay, maybe we ought to have some more names on his poll. There's one other thing we ought to have on the poll. Never drove outside of South Florida.
Yeah, probably.
Huh?
There you go. Or
never drove outside of South Florida. I bet there's a lot of people.
By the way, there are people that never drove. I know that's hard to remember.
But a few, like people who used to live in New York, maybe. Okay, we can put that on there, too. Never drove outside of South Florida.
There you go.
Because we got a shot at getting 500 votes on there during the show. We got 387, a remote shot. Well, let's face it, they don't like this poll at all. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular Wireless line. WQAM, hello.
I'm driving.
Okay, good. You're driving us nuts, I'll tell you that. I bet you he is driving.
Oh, yeah, him and Gilbert.
Oh, you know Gilbert. Well, that's because he's got that good eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
WQAM, hello. That's it. Those are our two calls, okay?
All right.
Like I said, we got a chance to get to 400 votes on the poll today. Why do we even bother waste my time with this crap?
I don't know.
5670560. Last chance for calls, baby. This is it. Pound 560 on the Verizon. Of course, what does any of this that I'm talking about have to do with Ricky Williams? Maybe that's the problem. You think?
Could be.
I'm going to start taking this personal in a second here. Do you think I should?
No.
WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, a couple of stories here. I don't know if anybody else has mentioned this to you, but in my neighborhood, I live behind that Dr. James Nazi, the Westminster Church or the Core Ridge Presbyterian
Right.
Church.
D. James Kennedy, yes.
Yes.
Fascist in chief.
Yep, neighbors around my neighborhood now sticking the Ten Commandments signs in their lawns.
Lovely.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
I have a solution for it, pal.
What's that, move?
Move. Soon. Fast. Before they get your ass.
The other story I want to tell you real quick. My sister got married last weekend, and we brought my grandmother, who's 84 and has Alzheimer's, to the ceremony. And when the ceremony started and the priest walks out, as clouded of mind as she's got, the priest comes walking out. She goes, "Oh my God, he's a faggot."
Oh no! I thought she said
that damn faggot. I can't stand him.
I'll be damned.
There's
Leave
no
it to
faggot,
Grandma.
sir.
Okay, thanks for the good news, pal. Get out of here. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Lord, how's it hanging?
Okay.
Hey, listen, the most craziest driving I ever saw in my life was around the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, where they just had the Tour de Line.
Gay Perry, yeah.
Gay Perry. Actually, I had a great time in Paris. They actually kissed our American asses over there. But really, I wasn't expecting that.
I wouldn't go back there if they paid me by the second.
Really?
Beautiful
Oh,
place.
well,
There's only one problem with France. You know what it is? Too many French people.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we got it, pal. Hey, Paris, get that on there. Perry, you got it?
We got it.
You don't want to go there. WQAM, hello.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
WQAM, hello.
Neil, how you doing
Yes, sir.
today?
Good.
Regarding your thing about South Carolina,
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that this country's going to end up splintering anyway. We're going to have to go our own way. 'Cause
And where's that?
How are people like you, me, and George supposed to coexist with these people in the future?
You leave Josh out of there, too?
You're in
Don't
Canada.
leave Josh out.
Huh?
Unless you want to.
I
said,
know.
have a great day. I mean, what is it? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Just do the best you can, that's all. Do the best you can. Stay out of the country as much as possible. Stay away from all the fascists. Stay away from the religious nuts. Don't get on the London, and that's it. Just do the best you can. This sky is falling doom and gloom stuff. I'm way too old for that kind of crap, okay? You just do the best you can, put a big smile on your face, put a happy smile on your tongue, and whatever you want to do, you know?
I have a magnetic Jesus fish I'm going to put on the car when I drive through.
There you
South
go.
Carolina.
That'll straighten your ass out, then they'll all think you're one of them.
That's right. I have a gun rack and a Jesus fish.
Right, now we're talking. Just in case starting October 1st anybody gives you a dirty look or looks like they're threatening to you or your property or your pet goldfish, just blow their ass away. And Governor Jeb will say, nice job, eh?
Are you threatening me?
What kind of madness. And the media, they just treat all this like it's the way things are supposed to be. And in the meantime, we got 80 million hours on Sky Miles O'Brien here on the Discovery Channel. Get off my set. I'm turning on, I can't stand it. I'm turning on MSNBC. Can't stand them. Guess what they're talking about?
And
What are they talking
appreciate
about?
that. So I disagree with your initial premise.
The shuttle launch. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
I just wanted to get your take on the London police killing that poor innocent guy.
Hey, listen, he shouldn't have had that look on his face, man, whatever the look was.
Well, do you think once we get our ID cards, are they going to shoot first and then look at our IDs in the mortuary?
Later, that's right. Shoot first and check ID later. That's an excellent thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe the London police were practicing for coming to Florida in October.
That's
Shoot first, ask
I
questions
hope for
later.
them.
But they are very sorry, though. They apologize profusely.
Well, is the family going to sue them, or do they have the same Patriot Act that we do?
No,
That
they got
doesn't allow for that?
the New England Patriot Act over there. They can't screw with them. In
Right,
fact, if they try
exactly.
messing with them, the Queen will intercede.
That's great. Or Carl Rove.
Or some Queen. Have a great day, sweetheart.
You too, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Speaking of Karl Rove, some Queen.
You fairy.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things. Just like with the Nazis, there were all those closet fags involved with Hitler and his entourage. All kinds of stories out there, you know? All kinds of stories on the street. And the same thing with this bunch. Joe McCarthy would be so proud, and his buddy Roy Cohn, and his boyfriend G. David Shine, and all of them. How's Roy Cohn doing? Is he still dead? Good.
Yeah.
12 minutes after, let's see, who played him in the movie James Woods?
Yeah, can't stand him.
Now that was, I know, but that was a good role for him because we hate James Woods like poison, and we hated Roy Cohn like poison. So perfect role. He didn't have to act much. That should have been on that poll we did last week about a role where the actor didn't have to do much acting.
Right.
James Woods. 12:13 at 560 WQM. Did you get a good night's sleep last night? If not, if you were tossing and turning, if your mattress is worn out, it's time for you to do the smart thing. Step up to a new queen or king-size bed from the great folks at Dollar Mattress. When you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll choose from Florida's largest inventory of queen and king-size beds, ready for same-day delivery. And you still get that same delivery deal. That's unbeatable. You choose the date and time in a 2-hour window, 7 days a week when you want them delivered, and they actually show up between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m., like between noon and 2 and 1 and 3 and 2:14 and 4:14. Dollar Mattress carries the complete line of all the top makers, Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King, Cortland, Stearns, and Foster Hewitt. Their everyday low prices and deep stock make your shopping a breeze. When you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll talk with an expert bedding consultant who listens to your needs and will suggest a style and comfort level for you that's perfect. And keep in mind, these people, when you talk to them, know bedding inside and out because that's the only thing they sell. They don't sell no halava. Just about all the folks at QM sleep like babies on a Dollar Mattress bed, and you ought to be doing the same. In fact, we got a lot of babies at QAM. Call 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRS. What is it again? 1-800, well, I never was that good at spelling, MATTRES, or on the wicked web, it's mattress.com.
When it comes to sports, we're the authority. Sports Radio 560, QAM.
My displeasure with leaks, particularly leaks of classified information, and I want to know. I want to know the truth.
Rove and Bush are still sticking together. It doesn't matter whether they lie. What is the deal? We don't care. He's your best friend. His career should be put to an end. Bush said one thing, now it's changing. If he's not fired, then Bush should start packing. Don't leave unless you're back with our king. There's no need for explaining. McClellan hardly speaks. Oh no, no, don't leave, or there'd be a big mess, like a chain of flames dress. Only then we would impeach.
If anyone in this administration was responsible for the leaking of classified information, they would no longer work in this administration.
Oh, yeah, right. You tell him, Scott. Hey, Scott.
You fairy.
1219 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday to you. And this article that you just faxed to me that somebody sent to us, this is annoying to me. And you want to know why? Because I like daylight savings time.
Uh-huh.
And I've said for many, many years, we got to be on daylight time all year round.
Sure, I have no problem with it. Just stop changing the clock. Like
this business of having people for a big chunk of the year driving home from work in the dark, you know, it gets dark like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, like in November, December, January. That's a bunch of crap. In addition to which, stop and think about it. In Florida, it doesn't make that much difference in the afternoon.
Right, no.
Like in most of the rest of the country where it snows and ice and sleet, who wants to be driving home from work at 5:15 in the afternoon? It's pitch black outside and the roads are like the end of the world, huh?
Right.
At any rate, it says, all this time you may have thought the farmers were responsible for making us adjust our clocks twice a year, but it turns, and this thing here, this is really frosting my ass, it turns out it's the golfers. Do you believe that?
Whatever.
And shopping mall owners everywhere have also had their hand in preserving the institution known as daylight savings time. This is ABC News, so take it for what it's worth. And keep in mind that Aaron Brown started it on ABC News. Does that tell you what they are?
No.
Well, it should. Anyway, it says that cynical. People love longer nights, late sunrises, right? Not everyone, it turns out. Nonetheless, negotiators from the House and Senate have agreed to extend daylight savings time by 4 weeks as part of a sweeping energy bill. The provision is designed to save fuel, but one of the bill's sponsors also highlighted another benefit. The beauty of daylight savings time is it makes it just everyone feel sunnier, said Representative Edward Markey of Massachusetts. It makes everybody feel sunnier.
Okay.
Hey, Sonny. The provision agreed by lawmakers would start daylight savings time 3 weeks earlier on the second Sunday in March, ended a week later. First Sunday in November. Does it save energy? Does it save money? Does it save oil or lives? Proponents say, of course it does. Opponents say it's just a way for golfers to get extra tee time. You that golf crowd out there, man, get a life. Get a life. I can't stand it. I don't want to mention any names. The Air Transport Association of America, Inc., which represents major U.S. airlines, argues that it would throw U.S. international schedules further out of sync with Europe. It says a 2-month extension, the initial proposal, would cost the U.S. airline industry $147 million, would disrupt overseas travel. As if, of course, they can't adjust for it. I don't get that. Can't they adjust for it?
I'm sure they could.
Yeah. This is an ultimate disaster for airlines and all of our customers who will be horribly inconvenienced, said James May, the group's president and CEO. The National PTA is also opposed, arguing that more kids will have to go to school in the dark. 100 years ago, well, that's a good way to keep the surplus population down, wouldn't you think?
I think.
100 years ago, when they first proposed this, they said it was about saving energy, said Michael Downing, author of Spring Forward, The Annual Madness of Daylight Savings Time. Well, I can't imagine where he's coming from. This has never been realized, no matter how many times they say it. Instead, it's a tremendous way to get Americans to spend more money. The U.S. first implemented daylight savings time during WW1 and then imposed it again during WW2, but for years the nation lived with a plethora of local daylight savings times. And then the article abruptly ends. Or maybe not, maybe there's more. Really
the second page I just sent.
Oh, it's here? Oh, here it is. Finally, Congress tried to create some consistency with the Uniform Time Act of 1966. In the wake of the Arab oil embargo, lawmakers extended daylight time to 10 full months in 74. The current calendar was set in 86. 2 states, Arizona and Hawaii, still opt out of daylight time. The portion of Indiana in the Eastern Time Zone, which for years has refused this being forward, is slated to implement daylight savings time next year. On. Now, just like you said, just set it and forget it, okay?
Right.
Just set it and walk away like your flavor wave.
Having to readjust your body twice a year.
How's that flavor wave coming, by the way?
Oh, it's great. We use it 4 times at least a week.
I use mine virtually every day. Every single day. In fact, I discovered there's a great low-carb, I don't know what the name of the brand is, I'll check it out, low-carb pasta sauce that I was able to get in my supermarket here.
Okay.
And so I take my pork meatballs, my delicious Italian fresh pork meatballs, heat them up nice to make sure, of course, they're cooked all the way through, don't want no tricky-noses, and on the flavor wave, and then put them in that pasta sauce. Heat them up a couple of extra minutes in that low-carb pasta sauce, and then put on some Swiss cheese on top and melt that on there. God. Sounds a little strange, doesn't it?
No.
But you know me, I like cheese on everything. Well, just about.
Well, what's wrong with that?
5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular Wireless line. I sure pine for dulce. WQAM, hello. QAM. You like the sound of that? Nice and clean. The ocean. Clean and pristine. WQAM, hello. Okay, I'm not going to waste my time begging for calls anymore today. This is an insult. It's a slap in the face. It's outrageous. But you want to know why? Because there really aren't that many more things for this pool, and that's all they got. That ought to be the theme song of the South Florida audience. I got plenty of nothing, because that's what they got, man. Right? I got plenty of nothing. Yeah, they got nothing. They got no material, man. And everybody I talk to, it's really kind of scary. I don't want to mention any names, but I know an awful lot of people who are telling me they're moving out. They're getting out of South Florida. I know a lot of people are coming in and buying up the overpriced houses, which is fine. But other than that, man, it's kind of scary. Everybody I talk to tells me this one is leaving and this one moved out and anywhere. Just get me out of here. Can't understand that. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Neil, I prefer the original a lot better. But there's a couple new brands. I can't believe it's not gargling.
Oh, okay. WQAM, hello.
They're moving out. They're getting out of South
QAM.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
That movie you were trying to remember is called Secret Window.
Secret Window with Johnny Depp. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. Okay.
I had it.
WQAM, hello. QAM.
Put them on the car.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay.
Listen. A lot of things you said, you hit one nail on the head with the media. The media decides what we have to care about. And I don't know if you noticed this trend. If a tree falls in the woods on the panel, now they have to have a priest to say why it fell, you know? It's not anything normal. It's ridiculous. And another thing you said is very correct. Everything bad comes from this state. It has to do with this state. This is horrible. I hate this state.
Okay. See you on the bus, on a banana boat, or maybe on the wherever you hop on. Just hop on it. Wow. Well, I guess you've been getting some really good calls this summer.
Oh, yeah, the best. Cream o' the crop.
I'm going to have to sit around here and listen. Not.
If you want to cry.
No. Although tomorrow's ratings day, don't forget George is going to be right on top at 11:30, and we're not going to be doing those monthly trends anymore, starting with this book. Not because they're good or they're bad or they're indifferent, just because it's too irrelevant. It's pointless. They're sampling like 6 illegal aliens who just floated up on an inner, and that's it. Even for the 3 months, it's marginal at best, but we'll take whatever luck we can get. And we'll find out tomorrow if we got any luck. We'll find out how everybody... And then on Thursday, Duff tells me Thursday, my luck. We're going to find out the hourlies on Thursday at about 11:30 Thursday morning. So we're going to find out who did well and who did not so well.
When it comes to entertainment, we've got the biggest personality.
Sports Radio 560.
QAM.
Hillary Clinton was never simply Bill Clinton's wife. As the wife of the governor of Arkansas, you were a womanizer.
Yes, I plead to that.
If I asked you straight out, was there a sexual encounter with Jennifer Flowers?
Yes. You know, she was so warm and a love that I wanted to try, and I think I'll leave it at that.
And that was very meaningful to you. What did she teach you?
Oh,
what did she tell you?
What do you think? Oh, just go be yourself, and it was good advice.
She eventually swapped her Southern Belle for a woman named Paula Jones.
I was absolutely committed to make some kind of a relationship with a young woman, but ultimately I had to get on my knees.
Years later, under oath in a deposition in the lawsuit, your husband did admit that you had your own First Lady.
He put himself into that position, and I gladly went along. But when you're in the White House and your husband has a relationship with a young woman, and it is not up or not hard or, oh my goodness, it took a long time to make it very, very hard.
When we return, the decision that backfired big time.
You have to decide to do the young woman very hard. That's all I spent my time doing, thinking hard.
And now she'll be closer to Mommy.
That's good, don't you think? I'm all for that. I think any mommy is all for that.
Right. 12:32, your mama at 560. Oh, guess what? Dick Cheney's a liar and a crook and a thief.
Gee, what a shocker.
An American senior military officer in Baghdad says, although maybe he's the liar, but I sure doubt it. He says, the insurgency appears to be growing more violent, more resilient, and more sophisticated than ever. How do you like that?
Absolutely correct, sir.
Growing pessimism about averting civil war in Iraq, as well as mounting concerns that the U.S. military presence there may itself be... Oh, and before I read this article and go into a ponderous thing here, see, it's my stupidity, and you should be alerting me of this, although you like my showing my ass on the air. I'm sitting here doing the thing with the numbers, and then when I don't get an immediate response, I'm forgetting we're on this 85-minute delay.
Yeah.
See, mentally, I'm still living back in the day before the Stern debacle, you know, before we had these 17 5-minute delays.
Right.
So I can say, hey, okay, we're going to take some calls now, give the numbers out, and then like 4 minutes later, that's when I should start looking for them dots to start flashing on there, you know?
Right. Hey, don't forget about the delay. I forgot about it already, too.
What do you mean by that?
I can't remember that we're on a 30-second delay.
No, exactly. So you think, oh, gee, how come they're not responding right away? And that's because they're not hearing it for like another minute later.
Huh?
30 seconds, my ass. Oh, don't call now. I don't want your calls now.
Oh,
they are so silly, you know it? Growing pessimism about averting civil war in Iraq, as well as mounting concerns that the U.S. military presence there may itself be fueling the insurgency and Islamic extremism. I want to read this sentence again and again and again, okay? Especially for that punk that called last Thursday, who was giving me a song and a dance that the stuff going on in the British over there had nothing to do with their being in Iraq. Right, your mama. You're an idiot. You're a quisling. You're dumber than Tony Blair.
Just think of how much terrorism they would have in London if they didn't.
Yeah, right.
Attack.
Of course, in London, this ain't nothing compared to the IRA.
Right.
Remember those great days with the IRA? At any rate, growing pessimism about averting civil war in Iraq, as well as mounting concerns that the U.S. military presence there may itself be fueling the insurgency and Islamic extremism worldwide, has spurred a spate of new calls for the U.S. to withdraw its 140,000 troops sooner rather than later. Oh, that's almost enough to make me want to play that bit. You know?
Almost? Come on.
I'll play it.
You can do it.
In a minute. But right now, although resolutions to establish at least a timeline for withdrawal have so far gained the support of only about a quarter of the members of Congress, the absence of tangible progress in turning back the insurgency is adding to fears on Capitol Hill that the administration's hopes of stabilizing the situation, let alone giving birth to pro-Western democracy in the hardly Arab world, are delusory. Oh, do I love that word?
That's good. Say it again.
Delusory, as in delusions of lunatics.
The looser, the better.
Right. Well, not necessarily. In January, we had congressional staff hanging up on us when we called to say that we wanted to discuss shifting U.S. policy from more guns and more troops toward withdrawal, said Jim Cason. Or is that Cason? Remember when the Casons come rolling in?
No.
Jim Cason communicated that you probably don't even know who Kevin Elster was.
Who?
Director of the Friends Committee on National Legislation and Lobby Group. Now they want to talk about it. While the George W. Bush administration still insists that civil war will be avoided and current negotiations to produce a new constitution by the middle of next month remain on track, the continuing high level of violence and the strength and sophistication of predominantly Sunni insurgents and foreign fighters are clearly having an effect here. Let me say it again. American senior military officer says the insurgency appears to be growing more violent, more resilient, and more sophisticated than ever, as opposed to the lies that were forced to... And the media gives Dick Cheney a free pass, you know. We saw that girl take the flop off the diving board on her nose 80 million times. How come we don't see the instant replays of Dick Cheney lying and lying and lying?
Because he doesn't want them to.
I see.
And he's the boss.
This was made clearest in 2 New York Times articles published Sunday, including one entitled Defying U.S. Efforts, Guerrillas in Iraq Refocus and Strengthen, and another by John Burns, a veteran Star Times reporter who spent considerable time in Iraq, entitled If It's Civil War, Do We Know It? The latter story recounted the recent intensification of Sunni violence against the Shia community that provoked even the ever-patient Shia religious leader, Ayatollah Ali Sistani, to whom Washington is increasingly deferred in guiding the political transition, to call on the Shiite-led government to defend the country against mass annihilation. From the moment the American troops crossed the border 28 months ago, Burns wrote, the specter hanging over the American enterprise here has been that Iraq, Saddam Hussein's tyranny, might prove to be so fractured that it would spiral inexorably into civil war. Now events are pointing more than ever to the possibility that the nightmare could come true, according to Burns, who noted that Shiite militias and Shiite and Kurdish-led army and police units were themselves taking increasingly aggressive countermeasures, including abducting, torturing, and executing suspected insurgents and their perceived sympathizers and defenders. That's right. If they look suspicious, that's right. Just like Scotland Yard said, blow their crap away. We're sorry if we were wrong, if we overread, but nevertheless, the second story by 2 other Baghdad-based Times correspondents quoted unnamed senior military officers reiterating 2 big frustrations that have been heard since July of 2003, that the insurgency appears to be growing more violent, more resilient, and more sophisticated than ever, and that prosecuting the war is like sowing dragon's teeth. We are capturing or killing a lot of insurgents, one senior U.S. Army intelligence officer told the Times, but they're being replaced quicker than we can interdict their operations. There's always another insurgent ready to step up and take charge. And we can't imagine why, can we?
No, why?
No.
I guess.
451 votes on a poll. We got a shot at 500, Josh.
Yeah, maybe.
If we really put our nose to the grindstone, or nose to the diving board, how many more times do we need to see that today?
About 30, man.
Where is the worst place you've ever driven it? Dade County, 233. We should have said other than Dade County.
Yeah.
Boston, 54. New York, 46. Broward, 32. See, Broward's a Mahaya. No wonder everybody's moved out of Dade County, moving into Broward. Los Angeles, 28. Washington, D.C., 11. Rome, 11. Chicago, 10. Tampa, 8. Jamaica, 7 mon, even if you have a really good machine. London, 6. Vegas, 3. Never driven, 1. Amsterdam, 1. Paris, none. And never drove outside of South Florida. See, it was a good idea. We put that on there. It's got none. It's got the big O. Speaking of the big O, don't forget the big O.
Oh!
We'll find out how well he's doing on Thursday, right? See how he's doing, how the Humper is doing, how we're doing, how Mo is doing. Oh, my God, Mad Dog.
All right.
I think Mad Dog's a given. He'll be doing just fine, right?
Right.
And then, of course, we can find out how those other guys are doing. You know, those other guys, like that Danny LaBastard boy?
When it comes to entertainment, it's Neil Rogers Middays. Sports Radio 560, QAM.
You failed.
Absolutely.
Sunni's gonna get you. Sooner or later, the Sunni's gonna get you. Sooner or later, the Sunni's gonna get you. The Sunni's gonna get you. It's a war you'll never win. Resistance is what you'll find when you commit genocide with the blueprint of Nazi occupation. Iraqis try to defend their home against us instead of the Saudis that deserve retaliation. Sooner or later, the Sunni's gonna get you. The Sunni's gonna get you. It's a war you'll never win. You leave no child behind by sending them off to die. Oh boy, that's insane and homicidal. simply more genocide. That the people you find, with nothing to lose and suicidal. Make Jesus push God. Jesus push God. Make Jesus push God.
I just noticed that on MSNBC, Karl Rove has got 3 6s on the top of his forehead, you know, right on that big bald spot he's got.
Right.
It was showing. He was showing it. Hey, Carl.
You fairy.
Anyway, here's I can't imagine I forgot the brand name of the sauce. You should have told me.
Yeah.
It's the same as the salad dressing. Remember I told you about all this good stuff, carb options?
Oh, okay.
Man, this is good stuff. And I'm looking on the label. I have it in my hand right now. In fact, it's so good that I could, like, you know, stick my finger in the jar and just eat it out of it. I could, like, put a straw in it. Yeah. It really is. It's good stuff. And you want to know why? Because they use Splenda. Because most spaghetti sauce, they like have hidden sugar in it, which is another reason why. Not just the tomatoes, but the carb content is so extremely high.
Oh, yeah.
At any rate, 7.5 grams in a half a cup. That's nothing. Isn't that good?
That's nothing.
7.5 grams of carbs in a half a cup, which a half a cup is a pretty fair amount. I mean, you know. Don't be making your pasta with it.
No.
Would it be something if they ever made like a real good low-carb pasta, which, of course, I don't want to talk about that.
Let's not.
5670560. I'll give the numbers out. Just pretend we're going to take some calls. I got a pretty good pile here, okay? And it's already almost 1 o'clock. In case you missed it, Discovery Shuttle, everything is A-okay. They took off, and they're still alive, and everything's fine. They're going to be out there for 12 days. You're going to be hearing a lot about it. Pop, 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 like that. Sky Miles O'Brien's going to be on there 24/7 on CNN with information that nobody gives a crap about, including the astronauts themselves. The Israeli foreign minister, the Jews are PO'd at the Pope. I'll tell you that. You see this story?
No, tell me about it.
Oh, man, they're really pissed off at this Pope. The Israeli Foreign Ministry expressed its outrage yesterday that Pope Benedict XVI deliberately failed to condemn terror attacks against Israelis, and it summoned the Vatican envoy to a meeting. How do you like that? You will get your ass over here, and you will cut the crap. Or we'll pee in your pasta. How do you like that? Or we'll give you like a special cup of tea. On Sunday, the pontiff prayed to God. Prayed for God to stop. Yeah, that's right. Well, God must have a hearing problem because they keep praying to him to stop all this crap, and it goes on and on and on. And then we got the stuff on the
Cube.
On Sunday, the pontiff prayed for God to stop the murderous hand of terrorists. He made the noontime blessing from his alpine retreat at Italy's northwestern Valle d'Aosta region where he's vacationing. Benedict referred to the recent abhorrent terrorist attacks in Egypt, Britain, Turkey, and Iraq, but did not mention attacks in Israel.
Oi!
I think he's anti-Semitic, this Pope.
Must have slipped his mind.
The Pope deliberately failed to condemn the terrible terror attack that occurred in Israel last week, a Foreign Ministry statement be saying. A July 12th suicide bombing in the Israeli seaside city of Netanya killed 5 Israelis. Islamic Jihad claimed responsibility. Is it jihad or is it a fatwa?
Well, they're different things.
A fat one?
Yes, it is.
What do you like better, a fatwa, a fat one, or a jihad? Yeah, well, the reason I say that, I know what they are, but it's just because it's also stupid.
Yeah.
We expected that the new Pope, who on taking office emphasized the importance he places on relations between the Church and the Jewish people, would behave differently, the statement said. No, it's still the same old anti-Semites. The statement called on the Pope to condemn attacks against Jews in the same way it condemns terror attacks against others. Benedict said Monday he did not see an anti-Christian motive in the recent wave of terrorist attacks blamed on Islamic extremists, attributing them instead to a much more general intention. Yeah, he's leading the attacks, general intention. The pontiff also told reporters while vacationing in the Italian Alps, he just started, for Christ's sakes. What's he doing on vacation? He must be taking a lesson from the Bushmeister, that it was important to seek dialogue with the best elements of Islam. But when are we going to find those? After visiting a church, Benedict brushed off a question about whether he believed Islam was a religion of peace. I wouldn't want to label it, he said. Certainly there are elements that favor peace. It also has other elements. I wonder what he meant by that.
Like strontium and, chloride.
I see. And maybe magnesium or milk of magnesium. Maybe that's what they put in the Pope's tea, the one that they killed.
Right.
The Pope's spokesman said Sunday that Benedict was placing immense importance on meeting with Muslims in Cologne, Germany, while he's in his homeland next month to lead the Roman... Oh, that's such a great place, Cologne, Germany. While he was in his homeland next month to lead the Roman Catholic Church's World Youth Day. Benedict has been in Les Combes since July 11th, and is due to... Oh, I see he's in France. Because that name I read before, Valle d'Aosta, whatever it was, it sure didn't sound Italian. He's in France until July 28th, when he'll move to the papal summer retreat in Castel Gandolfo in the Alban Hills south of Rome. During his vacation, he's finishing a book he started 3 years ago and working on his first encyclical. Oh, and he's, I'm sure, surrounded by some lovely altar boys and being protected by the Swiss Guard. Hey, Pope.
You fairy.
The photographer who took topless photos of a 19-year-old aspiring model named Cameron Diaz then attempted to sell them back to her after she became a star, and now he faces up to 6 years in prison. How do you like that?
Okay.
John Rudder was convicted Monday of forgery, attempted grand theft, and perjury. Rudder had testified that he gave Diaz 2 days to pay him $3.5 million for the photos before he shopped them to prospective buyers for a campaign timed to coincide with the 2000 release of her film Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. But he said he was only offering Diaz right of first refusal, not trying to blackmail her. That's a great idea. Isn't that a good idea? Although I wish that this unfortunate situation hadn't occurred in the first place, I'm very gratified that justice has been served, Diaz said in a statement. Diaz, whose screen credits include Shrek and There's Something About Mary, testified that she wasn't ashamed of the shots and had offered at one point to go into partnership with Rudder in releasing some images. She said he turned her down. She said that Rudder told her that the buyers were going to use this against you. When he would not identify the purported buyers, Diaz contacted authorities. Superior Court Judge Michael E. Pastor revoked Rudder's bail, ordered him to jail, ruling the photographer was a flight risk. He was sentencing set for September 15. How do you like that? Throw his ass in the slimer, okay? And cancel all his subscriptions and prescriptions, too. Now, we all knew in the radio business that payola was over a long time ago, right?
Right.
How come nobody ever offers us any graft?
I know. We were just talking about that yesterday.
God, that bugs me. It's been going on ever since I can remember, since as a kid I used to listen to WMGM in New York. Peter Tripp, the curly-headed kid in the third row, WMGM. And it was all that payola, Alan Freed and Alan Fraud and Dick Clark. Oh, he's still alive, by the way, but barely hanging on, Dick Clark. Oh, man. Won't be long before we say goodbye to old Dick. Commissioner wants FCC payola investigation. Armed with the stunning results of New York Attorney General Elliot Spitzer's year-long investigation on the record industry and Sony BMG's admission of improper conduct, FCC Commissioner Jonathan Adelstein yesterday called on his agency to investigate the payola practices uncovered by Spitzer's office. We've seen a lot of smoke around payola for a while, but now we know it's coming from a real fire. It's time to dump a bucket of cold water on it, Adelstein said. We need an immediate investigation to determine whether these practices violate federal payola laws. I've asked Mr. Spitzer to share all the evidence that he's uncovered with the FCC, with the unctuous, the obnoxious, the dictatorial FCC. Adelstein also noted that it's unfair to listeners if they hear songs on the radio because somebody was paid off, not because it's good music. This isn't the first time Adelstein has issued a plea for FCC action on pay-for-play issues. In May, he expressed his desire for an FCC investigation of potential violations of the agency's product placement rules. Adelstein added it's a real tribute to Attorney General Elliot Spitzer that he's blown the lid off a potentially far-reaching payola scandal. I've been expressing concern about this for yada yada. And this morning on the piece they had on CNN we were watching, remember that?
Yeah.
And one of the things they were giving out was like expensive pairs of sneakers. And the way they were doing it is that they would give one of the sneakers and they would withhold the other one until after the song was played 10 times on the station. Yeah. How do you like that? What are you going to do with one sneaker besides hop around a lot? God. Indiana businessman gets a big check in error in West Lafayette, Indiana. Well, Indiana, that'd be a good place for... There's a lot of Amish there anyway in Indiana. The Yoders and the Yoders and whatever else their name is. Yoder and the Hostettlers and the Yoders, that's the other one.
Okay, that's right.
Robert Theodoro could scarcely believe his eyes when he opened a piece of mail and found a $160,000 check tucked inside.
Oh!
The check, for a large sum enough to pay off his house, buy a car, go on a 6-month vacation, had everything, his name, address, and the company's name, his company's name. Everything it is, except for his legal right to run off to the bank and cash it. Once his champagne dreams dissipated, Theodoro soon realized that the $160,000+ check was sent in error by Winnipeg, Canada-based Cargill Limited. It's not every day this happens. I was holding a piece of paper with so much power, he said. Theodoro, who owns Stormfront Productions in West Lafayette, at first thought the check had been sent from a client and had misplaced a decimal. Kind of like in George's paycheck. Every 2 weeks, George wonders, how come that decimal is over so damn far? That's bad. Shouldn't be laughing. Sorry.
Oh, whatever.
After checking, well, it's just humorous. In kind of a sick way. I'm sure you'd agree.
Yeah, I'm sick about it.
After checking Stormfront's records, however, Theodoro discovered his company had never done business with Cargill Limited, so he called the company's Winnipeg headquarters. And how's it going, Cargill asked for the check to be voided and returned, and Theodoro said he put it in the mail Thursday. The company's giving him a $100 gift certificate to a local restaurant for turning in the giant-sized check. $100 my ass. $1,000 minimum, wouldn't you say?
All right.
Everyone at work wanted to see it and hold it, he said. The check.
I know people like that.
Yeah. If only I could keep the money, but that kind of stuff comes back to bite you. It's just better to clear everything up and make sure it doesn't happen again. Yeah, when you let them see it and hold it, sometimes they come back and bite you. He's starting to get the drift of it. Oh, look at that. There's the... Theodore said he put it in the mail Thursday. The company's giving him a $100 gift certificate to a local restaurant for turning in the giant-sized check. $100 my ass. $1,000 minimum, wouldn't you say?
All right.
Everyone at work wanted to see it and hold it, he said. The check.
I know people like that.
Yeah. If only I could keep the money, but that kind of stuff comes back to bite you. It's just better to clear everything up and make sure it doesn't happen again. Yeah. When you let them see it and hold it, sometimes they come back and bite you. He's starting to get the drift of it. Oh, look at that. There's the, what is that? Oh, I see. I keep thinking I was on CNN. I'm on MSNBC, and since nobody watches it, I can't figure out what it is that they're doing. If anybody ever... And, of course, it was really a brilliant programming move in their desperation to get an audience, putting that bow-tied right-wing lunatic, what the hell's his name from Crossfire, that guy, Mother Tucker and his pies Carlson, putting him on back-to-back with Joe Scarborough, the very untalented former Florida congressman, who's compared to the other...
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Arnold, this is not a tumor. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Jesus land, Christian park, where you won't go to hell when you die. Jesus land, Christian park, where ignorance and hatred thrive. Ride the holy roller around. The only roller coasters that never go down. By the Armageddon where the hand of God reaches through the clouds to rip all your clothes off. Bang, 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 children cry killing you. Bang, 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 a fortune doctor's too. She can make you dumb for fun to eat. While Betty on the fly, a cartoon character breathes.
Our Father that art in heaven, help us answer all voices in our head. If at our mighty side, we're waving our stakes for Armageddon, when comes, you take us away.
March, march in a bush Nazi parade. Cool up with it was the great Diana Kool-Aid. Ignorant dicks who want to get their kicks. Wait with the fun and fundamentalists. Pray to the Lord to forgive you with your choice of fleshly appointed views. Head on down to the revival show. There's rockabilly, heroin, drink and blow. Jesus land, Christian talk, where you won't go to hell when you die. Jesus land, Christian talk, where ignorance and hatred thrive.
Do you think it's just a coincidence that Prescott Bush was the banker of the Nazis, and that we got a bunch of Nazis, including his grandson, now running America? You think it's just a coincidence? No. Sure, it's got to be. Friends say Lance Archibald is a tall, handsome former college basketball player and graduate of Harvard Business School. He's also still single at 31.
You fairy.
And so they're hoping to speed things up with a billboard and a website. I'm Lance, let's go out, reads the billboard, on an interstate near Linden, about 40 miles south of Salt Lake City. It kind of came out of discussions we had that Lance is such a good guy, but not married.
You fairy.
Said Morgan Lynch, CEO of Logo Works, where Archibald is the director of marketing. What a great name that is, Morgan Lynch. Someone threw out the idea of getting a billboard. So why the concern over Archibald's marital status? As a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, whose members typically marry in their early 20s, the 31-year-old Archibald is approaching the male equivalent of an old maid. Or just... You fairy! Friends say they're not sure what the Brigham Young University graduate and former Mormon missionary is looking for, but tease it's taking a little longer than usual for a guy with these credentials. Team Date Lance, the cadre of friends and co-workers behind the scheme, are screening date applications. The site asks interested women to describe themselves, including age, occupation, and personality, and to describe their ideal date with Archibald. So far, the website has received more than 1,500 hits, with several women vying for a date. We're still taking submissions, Bates said. As much as we thought it would be funny, we're serious about this. Archibald is taking the attention in stride, although he says he spent a good amount of time explaining to others what his friends have done. He says he's not bothered by singlehood. I'm not overly concerned about marriage. He says I'm pretty happy right now. I'd like to get married, but it's not a concern. You failed. Probably a smart guy, and maybe gay on top of it. 5, 6, 7. I beg your pardon?
Gay Mormon?
Oh, that would be really unusual too, wouldn't it? Next thing you're going to be telling me is that Alan Key's daughter is a lesbian, and that Dick Cheney's got a bull-dyke daughter. You're going to start making up these stories again. And, of course, don't forget about Tom DeLay. I mean, all of these, it seems, the further to the right. Phyllis Shoefly, all these people with their gay offspring. Her ebony hair, perfectly parted and saucer-like eyes, perpetually staring. The life-size Betty Boop statue. And, by the way, we want to dedicate that Jesus Land to all our friends from South Carolina. Wouldn't that be great to just change the name of it?
Yes.
And that way, then you could, like, North Carolina could just be Carolina. Nothing could be finer than a vacation in Carolina. And South Carolina wouldn't be North or South. It would just be Jesus Land. Beautiful. Anyway, the life-size Betty Boop statue became a local landmark on the city's Shore Drive, Virginia Beach, Virginia. But Sunday morning, a patron discovered the $1,600 figure a block away from its home in front of the cool and eclectic furniture and fashion without its head. Oh, God, I hate that. Betty Boop with no head. Yeah. 6 days later, the head remained missing. Without it, she's nothing, said store owner Larry Estes, who filed a police report Friday. Estes collected Boop's body and placed it in the storeroom. Then he began searching up and down Shore Drive. He's offering a free store item to anyone who comes forward with Boop's head. She's made a lot of people smile, he said, her head. Wow, who would do this? Betty has had run-ins before. 2 years ago, Hurricane Isabel's winds tossed the statue down Shore Drive, severing limbs and crushing her head. From heel to head, I had to reconstruct her, and now off with her head. Not bad, Betty Boop. Tragic. I wonder if she's part of that law firm. Betty Beep, Betty Boop, you think? Oh. Wait till you hear this. Another reason to hate cats. God, do I despise cats. Oh, man. Those litter boxes, the whole thing about... They're as useless as a sixth toe. Cats lack a sweet tooth, study says. I mean, when you compare a dog and a cat, what kind of a jackass has a cat? I sure hope Josh don't have any cats in his household, or at least his parents or anything.
No, well, my dad has some cats, but it's not his choice. I don't like them personally.
Well, what does that mean? Not his choice. What, they just invade the house?
Yeah, it's their choice.
No, it's the wife. Women like cats because they have like a woman personality, you know? It's horrible.
I see. In other words, this. Okay, I don't want to ask you more questions.
Why not?
I don't want because it's nobody's business. Nobody's business about that whole family situation. It's obviously Josh is from a somewhat dysfunctional family, and who isn't? Other than George, of course.
Right.
Leave a cookie in a room with a dog, and it'll be 4 crumbs upon your return. But with a cat, the treat will be safe. There's one good reason to like cats. It won't eat your ice cream. That sauce is so good, man. I'm licking my fingers. Scientists say they've unearthed the reason for the feline's utter indifference towards sweet-tasting goodies. The gene for its sweet taste receptor is riddled with errors and doesn't work. Oh, how do you like that? Another reason to hate cats. Their tongue is screwed up.
Well, no, that with genetic engineering, they could make that happen in you.
That's why I read the story. I was thinking about that. I wish I had this problem. Oh, please. Pretty please. The research, to be published in the journal Pacific Library of Science Genetics, was conducted by scientists at the Monell Chemical Census Center in Philadelphia and the Waltham Center for Pet Nutrition in Britain. Previous studies have shown that cats don't care for sugar. Oh, please. Let me just scrape my taste buds right now with a knife.
We're going to gene splice you with a cat.
No thanks. Researchers at the Monell Center offered dozens of domestic cats choices of water, either plain or flavored with sugar. The cats drank equally from both bottles. Later studies at a zoo showed the same for lions, leopards, tigers, and jaguars. If it were a dog or a mouse or a human, they'd immediately pick out the sweet one and consume it in preference over the water, said Joseph G. Brand, associate director of the Monell Center and co-author of the study. When the mammalian receptor responsible for sweet taste was identified earlier in the decade, Brand and colleagues decided to investigate what was different about a cat's receptors. How about my foot in one of their receptors?
Rectum.
Yeah, that one. They extracted DNA from cats and examined the gene for the sweet taste receptor, which consists of two proteins that sit on the surface of the taste bud cells. When sugar binds to the receptor, a signal is sent to the inside of the cell and ultimately to the brain. I must have some really strong receptors, you know what? Some sugar receptors. The team, in fact, I can just hear C.Net. Cruz doing that Azúcar thing, but I don't want to waste my time with it. The team found that the gene for one of those regular receptor proteins, known as T1R2, is defective and can no longer make it a receptor. The same genetic defect was found in DNA from a lion and a cheetah. The scientists proposed that the cat's extreme carnivorous lifestyle renders the need to sense sugar irrelevant, allowing mutations to accrue in the sweet-tasting receptor during evolution of the cat lineage. The kinds of things cats are going to be eating, rodents, crickets, spiders, snakes, and birds, small enough for them to catch, are things rich in protein and fat, no sugar and no carbs, said James Richards, spokesman for the American Association of Feline Practitioners and veterinarian at the Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine. A sweet receptor in cats, he said, would be like me having a taste receptor for wood. Oh, if I got a line for that.
No, leave it alone.
Richards said that cat saliva and digestive tracts also are unsuited to carbohydrates, containing lower levels of enzymes involved in digesting them. He said veterinarians were investigating whether the level of carbohydrates that domestic cats got in their diet was contributing to the surge of rates of cat diabetes and obesity. See, your cat's not supposed to be eating all of that crap, okay? Quit serving all them candy bars to your cats. Although, on second thought...
I'll stop.
Yeah. 12 minutes after 1 at 560 WQAM on a fantastic Tuesday. We're going to get our 500 votes on the poll today, which is a piece of cake. We got 506 already. We can get to 600 by 4 o'clock. You think?
No.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Oh.
You know, for years, Armstrong Florida Homestead has always treated everybody just like family, and they want to extend an offer to you right now to join their family. Ford has just announced their Ford Family Plan. Right now at Armstrong Florida Homestead, you can purchase a vehicle at employee discount prices. That's correct. You heard me right. Now through July 31, Armstrong Florida Homestead gives you the same great pricing that every Ford Motor Company employee and their families get. Not only do you get employee family pricing, but you also get Armstrong Ford's exclusive tires and batteries for life program. What's not to like? And for a limited time with any new car purchase, you'll also get a color TV free. So what you be waiting for? Pick up that phone right now and call this number, 305-247-5112, and ask for David Rich. You won't get a better deal on a Ford anywhere. No bait and switch, no phony deals. And this fantastic, unbeatable offer is only available at Armstrong Ford Homestead, where they always treat you just like family. Armstrong Ford, you'll find them at, where is it? US 1. At Southwest 307th Street, just 20 minutes south of the 836. I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm so excited thinking about your friend Fat Boy. That's US 1 at Southwest 307th Street, just 20 minutes south of the 836. Check them on the web, ArmstrongCars.com. Give David Rich a call, 305-247-5112, and ask him about the Ford Family Plan today. Drive a little and save thousands at Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
When it comes to sports, we're the authority. Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Junior.
Tiger Down was the best you did back in 82. And then you left and we got OU812. And since then we basically haven't heard from you. And now you're about to make a real big return. You're on the radio replacing Howard Stern. I bet that T-Man Ellen feels he got real burned. No more reunion. Van Halen screwed up.
David Lee rock the radio star. David Lee rock the radio star.
118 at 560 WQ. Now, remember, I don't know what time it was that I said I had that little glitch and I felt like there was like a power surge and oops.
Right.
Remember that?
Hours ago.
Well, I just found this on the Toronto Star website. Oh, no, it wasn't hours ago. It was like an hour and a half ago. A wide swath of the downtown core is without power today because of a broken pole at a North Toronto transformer station. It's possible the pole was brought down by lightning. And officials are warning the power could be out mid-afternoon. How do you like that? So I guess I just escaped that swath of whatever that was. What a shame. Because I would have had to finish the show on the phone again. I don't like that.
No, that wasn't fun.
Very uncomfortable and very, have to schlep all the stuff in my living room and not good. Tom faxes and says, my sister's a teacher at an international school in Moscow. She said that when driving, you can only make right-hand turns. Making U-turns are hell. She's been all over the world and loves Moscow. Let's put that on our poll. What do you say, I don't think it's going to get any votes, probably because we don't have any of our listeners who have been in Moscow.
Can't imagine.
But nevertheless. But never drove outside of South Florida, still got... Our people get around, man. They get around. Haven't you noticed?
Oh, yeah.
You think they just got that sick just hanging around in town? No, they picked it up, like in South Carolina, for example. Maybe they're driving up I-95 and they were like going up to New York or New England, somewhere like there, and they had to go through South Carolina.
Right. Jesus land.
Right. New York diabetes tracking plan draws concern. At least 500,000 New Yorkers have diabetes. Many of them at risk for blindness, kidney failure, amputations, and heart problems because they're doing a poor job of controlling their illness. The question is, how much privacy are they willing to give up for a chance at better health? A century after New York became the first American city to track people with infectious diseases as a way to halt epidemics, officials in New York propose a similar system to monitor people with diabetes, a non-contagious foe. Conceived after a sharp rise in diabetes deaths over the past 20 years, the plan would require medical labs to report to the city the results of a certain type of test that indicates how well individual patients are controlling their diabetes. That's what the hell do they call it?
What do they call it?
I can't think of what they call it, but it's the one over a period of weeks, whatever. There will be some who will say, what business of the government is it to know my diabetes is not in control, said Thomas R. Frieden, the city's health commissioner. The answer, he said, is that diabetes cost an estimated $5 billion a year to treat in New York and was the fourth leading cause of death in the city in 2003, killing 1,891. Pretty soon they're going to start checking on your hemorrhoids.
Rectum.
Yeah, that'll be next.
I told you, the fat police.
By pinpointing patient problems, then intervening ever so slightly in their care, Frieden said the city can improve thousands of lives. I don't think we can afford not to do anything, he said. The Board of Health vote on the proposal isn't likely until at least September, but it's already drawn attention from other public health experts and privacy advocates. The list of illnesses reported to public health authorities has grown over the years, but it's still almost entirely contagious diseases like HIV or conditions related to environmental toxins like lead poisoning. Diabetes is different, threatening to no one but the people who have got it. This isn't smallpox, said James Piles, speaking of uroids, an attorney who represents healthcare groups concerned with medical privacy. The state, or in this case the city, does not have a compelling interest in the health of an individual that overrides individuals' right to privacy. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? The carbohydrate police are going to be coming at supper time. They're going to be knocking on your door, seeing how many carbs are on your plate, on your fork, and on your spoon. Piles praised the intent of the program, but said unless diabetics are asked for their consent, it would be an outright violation of the constitutional right to privacy for the government to obtain their identities. How do you like that? Where the hell does it ever stop? No, Zion America, baby. Speaking of New York City was in fear Sunday as heavily armed police swarmed a double-decker bus packed with tourists in Times Square and later shut down Penn Station after an irate passenger said he had a bomb, una bomba. And a dramatic sign of the city's edginess since the London transit bombings. Cops evacuated buildings, shut midtown streets, and forced about 60 terrified tourists to march off the double-decker bus with their hands up in the heart of Broadway. Isn't that great? Hands up or we shoot. Cops in riot gear handcuffed a group of apparently harmless South Asian-looking men with British accents after a jittery tour bus worker reported they seemed suspicious. Oh, no. Guess what the bus driver's name is?
I don't know, Neil.
Mohammed Stout. And here's a picture of Mohammed right here, wiping his brow. The men were forced to kneel on the sidewalk with their hands bound behind their backs between 50th and 51st Streets in front of the Winter Garden Theater on a sunny Sunday afternoon with the city packed with tourists. People were really scared schmittless, said Jill Sully, 29, of Saskatoon, Canada. There were sharpshooters with guns pointed toward our bus, eh? I was scared out of my mind, said another passenger, Amanda Pesanello, 20 of Coventry, Rhode Island. We don't have things like this going on in Rhode Island, she said. The dramatic face-off on Broadway came just days after the NYPD ratcheted up security after the July 7th and 21st London transit bombs and began searching bags in the subway. Yeah, I love that searching the bags in the subway routine. Isn't that good? And, of course, they're only doing the random search, so it's kind of like, well, Russian roulette. Maybe we'll be lucky and find somebody's got a bomb. Maybe not.
And if we don't?
Because, let's face it, I mean, only a very, very small number of people have backpacks.
Right. You almost never see them.
Only like 95%. Of anybody under the age of 100. Oh, man, it's just one of them things, you know? Thank God that Bush and Blair decided to invade Iraq so we could have a lot of exciting stuff on the news and a whole lot of dead people. We can make 600 votes by 2 o'clock, you know what, Josh? We really put a big full-court press on here, but I don't think you got that ball game to worry about. No, you didn't want to exert too much energy here, right?
Yeah, it's a long day.
In the next 36 minutes, he's got the Pirates and the Marlins tonight at PP Park down the street there. The mosquitoes will be as big as bowling balls. It'll be hot and humid. But the Marlins, I think, have got a shot now, you know? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, just when it looked like they were staggering and swooning. Because now everybody else in the division is kind of like swaggering and swooning, and they're like all grouped, all lumped together in there. But why does anybody care about baseball when we got hockey coming, huh? Gonna sign all those big free agents. They're going to have an ass-kicking team, man. WQAM, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
We're going to have an ice-kicking team. Pretty good.
Blood test you were talking about is hemoglobin A1C.
That is the one, right.
I'd also like to point out that, of course, the British cop shot a innocent guy. It was on page A17 of the Sun Sentinel.
Really?
Yeah. You know, the guy they shot was a Brazilian accountant. You know how dangerous they are.
Right.
And,
yeah, but they're very sorry about it, though. They're profusely apologizing.
I think they just said they expressed regret. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. No, Tony Blair said he was profusely sorry, and as if that makes a difference.
Oh, I feel much better about it now. Thank you.
Okay. And I'm sure his family does, too, and everybody, all his friends and everybody else. He was a really nice guy, everybody said. Fine guy.
There's no accountant for what he might have done, though.
Oh, that's bad. But it teach him to look suspicious.
That's right. And
run
have a backpack.
Anybody out there that's got a backpack, I'll tell you right now, that's a good idea, just to be on the safe side, because you can never be too safe when you're fighting terrorism. Anybody with a backpack, just throw their crap away.
Okay.
But do it real quick, because we don't want to give them time to, set off the bombs. See?
Right. If I have a soft-sided briefcase, that's okay, right?
No. Oh, that's all the more reason. 26 after 1 at 560 WQAM. The Emerald Coast is Florida's #1 Asian gourmet buffet, as rated by Zagat Restaurant Review. You asked for it, and now you got it. Every Friday through Sunday night, Lobster Fest is back at Emerald Coast by popular demand, featuring Maine lobster served Thermidor style. And you can still enjoy Crab Fest every night with Alaskan snow crab legs, Dungeness crab, and Jonah stone crabs. The menu still includes fresh oysters on a half shell and a sushi bar with over 30 different items. In addition, the Emerald Coast has got your hand-carved prime rib, and from their flaming grill, succulent, juicy, delicious New York steaks cooked just the way you like them to your order. Top off that fantastic feast at the coast with dessert at the unbelievable 40-inch chocolate fountain, where you can hand-dip your own strawberries, marshmallows, other decadent treats as well. Don't forget, the Emerald Coast promotes healthy living. No crap there, no MSG, no cornstarch. They cook all their fine cuisine only with cholesterol-free canola oil. So you'll never walk out of there with a headache, just a big poopik. Book your reservations at one of Emerald Coast's 3 locations. They're in Sunrise, Sunny Isles Beach, and Pembroke Pines. For the Emerald Coast, call 954-572-3822.
When it comes to entertainment, we've got the biggest personality. Neil Rogers, Vintage 72. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Did you know a spoonful of cinnamon makes the medicine go down? The medicine go down. The medicine go down. Just a spoonful of cinnamon makes the medicine go down. In the most delightful way. You Pharaoh. See here, I ain't never said so. I get very annoyed about me saying doy. I ain't never said it. Doy. But they ought to pay me by the doy.
Funny thing still, too, the original Doy Man will be along without the doily on his head. Mo Howard David did it, too. His special guest this afternoon, Irv Norman's grandson, will set the record straight on who really won the 1954 American League batting crown. Excited about that?
Oh, yeah. Just like that guy. Who was it?
Which guy? Kevin Elster?
Yeah, Kevin Elster. What a turd. I looked him up.
Well, what does that mean, what a turd? He wasn't
I could have put up those statistics.
He wasn't a great hitter, but he was
Obviously.
a fantastic fielder, okay?
Wow.
See, shortstops, generally the premium is on their fielding as opposed to their hitting.
Right, but he was bad.
He looked good, though.
Wow.
See? That's why I remember him. Anyway, a Jordanian plane suffered a tire puncture upon landing at an airport in southern Jordan today. An Israeli rescue service said, revising an earlier report, the plane had crashed. Those Israelis just haven't been the same since Purim time when the Arabs peed in their Hamantashen. Man, they've just been out of control. A little hysterical, over the top. That's why they're peed off at the Pope, too, now. This was not a crash. The plane's tire burst, and the ruckus appeared like a crash, a spokesman told Reuters when asked about the incident near Aqaba on Jordan's border with Israel. Jordanian officials at the airport said it was a cargo plane. It had like a blown tire, and that was it. And just calm down, you crazy Jews, you, is what they said. The Hobart, Indiana. You know, you think Florida, I think Indiana challenges us for crap that goes on.
All the time. Thank you for that.
Although on a kind of a different level. What?
I said, thanks, Indiana.
Yeah. Especially like Mishawaka. You know that all the Michigoyim live in Mishawaka?
I have no idea.
The owner of Pet Pigs has been convicted of violating the city's nuisance ordinance following complaints from neighbors about the obnoxious odor of the animals. Deborah Fields kept two 300-pound hogs, Bacon and Molly, as family pets in her home in the northwestern Indiana city, Hobart. Earlier this month, during a court trial on the nuisance charge, she argued that under city code she's allowed to keep pigs in a residential area. Well, if Fat Boy can work in our building... The issue before the court is not whether the defendant may keep her pigs, but whether the odors generated are something her neighbor must accept. City Judge William Longer wrote in a ruling last week, they are not. Not. The 2 pigs, according to evidence submitted during the trial, could generate as much as 35 pounds of solid waste and several gallons of liquid waste every day without getting too graphic. Fields testified there is no odor because she didn't smell it. It's like people with litter boxes. I don't smell anything. Or like people who stink themselves. I can't smell it. And that the odor detected by a Hobart code enforcement officer was attributable to swine flatulence. This is a true story. In his ruling, the judge said that testimony was not credible. He ordered Fields to pay a fine of $250 plus court costs for violating the nuisance ordinance. Longer suspended $200 of the fine on the condition that no other violations occur through the end of the year. Fields, who could have been fined up to $2,500, declined comment after last Thursday's ruling. How do you like that? She claims that it was swine flatulence that caused the aroma. As if, of course, that makes a difference.
No.
This story you're going to love. Bible singers versus breast implants. Oh, yeah.
I know who I'm rooting for.
Hours before a 22-year-old personal banker won a free set of breast implants, elderly churchgoers in Pennington, British Columbia, did their bit to change the minds of 36 contestants in the controversial competition. Mildred Wakefield and her Holiness Bible Movement supporters sang out to Jesus, beat a drum, and danced on the sidewalk across from the Element nightclub. If you could see a picture of Mildred Wakefield, she looks like Methuselah's grandma. She looks like Gil McDougall's great-grandma that Mo's going to have on Friday. Wow. And her friend Peggy Sedor performing songs of the church outside Pennington's nightclub. The members of the Bible Holiness Movement protesting against the club that will be giving away the minimum of $3,000 for breast implants. You ought to see these two. One of them is playing an accordion, and the other's got like a...
I thought you were talking about the implants.
No, man, you ought to see this pair. We need to show these young girls there's something better out there for them. They don't need to be exploiting their sexuality, Wakefield said. Why don't they come sing with us? She made her point as club manager Florio Vasilakakis.
I beg your pardon.
Florio Vasilakakis stared on from the other side of the street, waiting for guests to start arriving and take in the Sex Tree Makeover competition, an event that raised the ire not just of Wakefield, but women's groups and the BC College of Physicians and Surgeons. Vasilakakis wasn't worried about the small but eye-catching and loud group of about 15 protesters. They don't realize they're doing exactly opposite from what they want to achieve. They're just giving me more publicity, he said. Nonetheless, a showdown between Wakefield, her band, and the contestants was prevented by the gospel singer's early bedtime. Oh, they packed it in long before the club got jumping around midnight Saturday, as about 100 people took in the competition. Wow. Tiffany Friesen said they have the rights to believe whatever they want, but it's my body. I'm going to do whatever I want. As she was sipping gulps of champagne, celebratory gulps inside the club, Friesen danced all night and spun off against 35 other women for a brand new pair of breasts. Names of the contestants, most of whom were 19 or in their early 20s, were taped to a prize wheel for a chance at a $3,000 prize. Now that's better. Let's get the old QAM to spin the wheel again. For a new pair of boobies, what do you say?
Let's do it.
Wow. Names of all contestants. One by one, they filed up on stage in miniskirts and tight dresses to spin the wheel, eliminating the girl whose name landed on it. Friesen shrieked in disbelief when she was the last woman standing. Other contestants, many from Edmonton, Calgary, and the USA, sought soothing their disappointment at the bar. They lost a chance at gaining self-confidence, many of them said. Men at the club were astounded at the competition. They're all so beautiful. Every single one of the contestants is really good looking. I don't get it, said Steve Jones, 32, visiting from Calgary. Natural is so much better. I want to tell all these girls, don't do it. Don't do it.
Do it. Just do it.
They did it.
Then let us see.
It's Neil Rogers. Neil Rogers. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Oh my God.
You like boots a lot? Yeah, I like boots a lot. Boots a lot, boots a lot. I like boots a lot. Really like boots a lot. Gotta like boots a lot. Boots a lot, boots a lot. Gotta like boots a lot. Down in the locker room, just three boys. Beating down the locker room with all that noise. Nigga, do you like boots a lot? Gotta like boots a lot. Boots a lot, boots a lot. Gotta like boots a lot. Do you wear your jacket lot? Yes, I wear my jacket lot. Got you your chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate. That's the way you chocolate. On the football field, you never can tell what a hill can feel. So you gotta wear your chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate. If I had a flag along, if I had a long flag along, if I had a long flag along, if you like boots like tag along, big bossy boots like boots like boots like big and round, they're all around, they're big and round, they're all around.
To go, we got 32 votes to get to 600. You never thought we could do that, did you, Josh? See? You have a little faith, and if you would have, put your nose to the grindstone, instead of worrying about that Marlin ball game.
Well, we could have got what?
600.
700.
No, 6.
8. Why not?
We still got a shot. Well, okay, let's stay on until we get 800 votes on the poll.
Yeah,
let's stay until midnight. Got 12 minutes, and we need 32. What do you got on yours? I got 568.
568.
Not that it's important or anything like that, but I mean, this should be a 569. Look at that. They're trickling in one by each. So let's just see if this audience can come through, okay? The worst place you've ever driven a car, Dade County. I mean, Dade's got it locked up, but just click on something there, okay? Let's see if we can do it. It'll make us feel like we really accomplished something today, wouldn't it?
No.
Oh. The Church of England yesterday found itself in the potentially embarrassing position of telling its clergy that if they entered civil partnerships under new government legislation, they would have to pledge to remain celibate. Oh, God.
No.
Huh? Ordinands and vicars who apply to register their relationships with same-sex partners can expect to be called to explain themselves. A House of Bishops statement said, partnerships will be widely seen as being predominantly between gay and lesbian people in sexually active relationships. Members of the clergy and candidates for ordination who decide to enter into partnerships must expect to be asked for assurances that the relationship will be consistent with teaching. It is understood that several bishops have already said privately they have no intention of asking their clergy about whether their relationships are sexual or not, even the ones with the altar boys. Looking distinctly uncomfortable announcing the policy, the Right Reverend Graham James, Bishop of Norwich, insisted there's not any intention to pry into the lives of clergy. If they pledge to be faithful to the teaching of the church, you take what they say to be the truth, and you keep your nose out of their robes. The statement, which the bishop claimed did not amount to a change of policy, has been forced on the church by the Civil Partnerships Act, which comes into force in December and will enable same-sex partners to register their relationships. This causes difficulties for a church already riven by the communion-splitting controversy over gay clergy. Conservatives, especially in Africa and the U.S., already detect equivocation of the Church of England over the issue. The statement says, the House of Bishops does not regard entering into civil partnership as intrinsically incompatible with holy orders, provided the person concerned is willing to give assurances to his or her bishop that the relationship is consistent with the standards for the clergy. In other words, no touchy-feely, okay? Not even any AJ-feely. Publication of the statement appears to indicate that the church does share the assumption that civil partnerships are likely to be sexual. Its current teaching is that while lay people may have gay partners, lay may be gay, clergy cannot claim the liberty to enter into sexually active homophile relationships. You fairy. But if the clergy cannot adhere to church teachings, the question arises whether they ought to be in holy orders. It is not clear what would happen if a vicar did not tell the bishop about a civil partnership. The bishop glowed pink. He glowed pink when asked what would constitute a sexually active relationship and whether just kissing would qualify. He said it depended on the circumstances. The Reverend Richard Kirker, General Secretary of the Lesbian and Gay Christian Movement, said, this statement is perfectly consistent with the Church of England's policy of double-dealing, duplicity, and disregard for decency. It betrays contempt once more for lesbian and gay relationships and should be rejected as unloving, unpastoral, unworkable, yet another charter for lies. Well, that's what religions do the best, don't they?
Sure.
They lie like crazy.
Why do you need them to endorse you to feel like you're having a relationship?
To tell you it's okay to touch this and okay to sniff that and okay to stick away, but, yeah. Well, because they got a lot of experience doing it.
When it comes to sports, we're the authority. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Even loves Neil Rogers.
Oh, glory, I feel her temperature rising. Fire, fire, it's burning the stars and stripes. Now, they want a brand new amendment. They'll make it illegal if your flag ignites. Now Congress is making speeches, 'cause they're trying to teach us that ain't no freedom of speech to burn a flag. Lord have mercy, they're burning a flagpole today. You would think with all our problems, the Congress would try to solve them, instead of getting involved with burning flags. Burning flags. Don't want a bunch of burning flags.
Yeah, this bunch we got running U.S. now. They're not into burning flags, but they are into burning fags, so at least there's something there. We only need five. Huh?
I said, how you doing?
We only need 4 more votes for 600. You think we can do it? We got 3 minutes for 4 votes. I mean, even we could do that. All right?
Easy.
Even we could, like, reboot and this. 598. We only need a small pair. Okay, while you're doing that. And, of course, people don't lie to their kids. There's no question about that.
Right.
More than 100 Santa Clauses and their little helpers danced, bellowed ho-hos, or maybe they even ate ho-hos, and raced up a rapidly melting hill made of snow Monday at the annual World Santa Claus Congress in Copenhagen. Isn't that cute?
Lovely.
Despite a sprinkle of rain and trees in full Nordic summer bloom, the Papa Noels, St. Nick's, and Sinterklaases from 10 countries were in a Yuletide spirit as they kicked off a 3-day convention in Denmark, including a Santa parade and a chimney climbing competition. To the strains of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the bearded Santas dressed in red and white gathered in a northern Copenhagen amusement park as dozens of children watched in astonishment. I didn't know there were that many Santas, said Cecilia Bergqvist, an 8-year-old Swedish girl. While all Santas profess to be the real thing, one delegate from Marysville, Washington, could make a pretty good case. He legally changed his name to Santa Claus because he said he hated to lie to children. Isn't that cute?
Oh, that's
I'm going to change my name to God, as in, because I hate to lie to children. Hey, all you kids out there that are off for the summertime, your parents, they may be good people, maybe not in some cases, but nevertheless, either way, they lie to you like crazy with the Tooth Fairy and the Santa Claus and God and Jesus and Abraham and Moses and Heine Manouche, all of this crap. Okay, let's see if we did it. 6:05, no sweat. Where's the worst place you've ever driven? Dade County, 307. Winds hands down your steering wheel, man. New York, 66. Boston, 64. Broward, 37. See, Broward's not good, but compared to Dade, it's like paradise. LA, 37. Washington, D.C., 20. Jamaica, 13. It's a good machine, man, in Jamaica. Even if you drive it on the wrong side of the road, it's still a good machine. Tampa, 12. Chicago, 12. Roma, 12. Don't drive there. If you want to stay alive, go to Rome and don't drive. London, 7. Paris, 6. 5. Never driven in my life, 4. Probably like little punks, wouldn't you think?
Right.
Never drove outside of South Florida, 4. Las Vegas, 4. Amsterdam, 1. And Moscow, which went on by popular demand there at the end, has got the big... Oh! Speaking of the big... Oh!
Rock solid.
Ratings tomorrow, man. A lot of pressure on you. I'm putting the... I'm passing the torch to you, counting on you for a big number in there tomorrow. And speaking of a number, he's coming up next.
Bye. When it comes to sports. Blue 89! Blue 89! We, the authority. Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Nothing like a talk show host holding a big black dildo.
You failed.